5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're live! Hello all, welcome back to the Invictus stream! My name as always is Mr. Harlan Guthrie, and I am here with the fabulous Miss Jo Fallak.
Oh,
hello. The wonderful Mr. Justin Thomas James. And the one and only Mr. Alex Guthrie.
Oh, hello.
And we are here with chapters of the Undefeated, episode 5. Five. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday night. That means it's stream night. Every Wednesday night for the past 3-ish years, we stream RPGs on this channel at 8 o'clock. If you like RPGs, you're in the right place to be, because it is a crazy house up in here, and we're so happy to be here. Last week we did Don't Walk in the Winter Wood, and we had to take a little break from chapters of the Undefeated. Are you guys excited to be back? I am.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you're starting at this episode, go back and watch the other 4 episodes, because you won't really know what's going on unless you just like to be that way, which is difficult. If you like to be difficult, then fine. It is an 18+ show, though, so if you're uncomfortable with no words such as pee-pee, poo-poo, boobs, I want to get real mean, but I'm not going to. Oh, a light died. Mysterious. Bananas, that's a no word, apparently. Then you go ahead and you don't watch us. Don't even start, but like the video before you close.
Warning! Viewer discretion is advised. The following content may contain mature subject matter which may include...
You don't need to read the whole thing every time.
Describe violence, describe nudity and sexuality, describe grisly images, and other elements that may not be suitable for some audiences if they were present in our minds.
3 hours later.
What are those lines?
Do it quicker. Describe nudity. We did have describe nudity. It was really sexy. But that's right. Yeah. 18+. If you're uncomfortable with 18+ stuff, that's fine. You close the video, but like the video before. In fact, like the video right now. Go to YouTube, not Twitch or whatever else we're streaming on. Go to YouTube and give it the thumbs up. And if you have little tiny baby thumbs like me, then give it a double thumbs up, because it hurts.
Secretion is adv.
My God.
That's what I'm saying. Secretion is adv.
If you also haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe. It makes our counter go real high. You know, I don't even know how many subscribers we have. We're not good YouTubers.
You know, a lot of cool YouTubers, they use the term sub.
Oh, you want a sub sandwich? Yo, we have 3,942 subscribers. That's pretty close to 4,000.
That's almost $4,000. Almost.
Big dollar bills.
54 away? Forgot the actual number.
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Tell your family. Tell your grandma.
Actually, just start with Grandma. She'll tell everybody else. That's sweetheart.
He's gonna get it covered.
She'll make some sweet tea, have you on the porch. I don't know why your grandma sounds like this.
It's like a whole retirement home. Got like
funny.
Really Invictus crazy.
If we do that, we're gonna have a grandmother-centered stream where we're just talking about like cookie baking and like I'm gonna do the mother podcast, the momcast, where I'm just your son calling you, but.
Because I just watched a video earlier in the week that there was a 79-year-old granny gamer, and she's like, Skyrim's my favorite, and she's playing and stuff.
Yeah.
I saw that too.
79 years old.
I saw that too.
It's awesome.
Like,
do it.
Joy ageless. The
joy
of RPGs and games.
Yeah. In fact, RPGs would be easier than video games, really. So join. Tell your mom, tell your wife, tell your grandkids, tell whatever you got to do to get them over here and subscribe. We want to get that to 4,000 by tonight. Anyway.
Right now.
Didn't even know how many we had. So yes, it is of course important to subscribe and to like, but most importantly, go to our Facebook page and our Facebook group. The Facebook page, go ahead and like it. You'll get all the updates for all the streams and all that kind of nonsense. But it also just makes us look real cool. But join the Facebook group. The Facebook group is where everybody cool hangouts. It's sort of like the green room behind the backstage at a Sting concert. The Desert Rose era, where he plays the sitar and one of the ole ole. So that's the green room that you want to be in, apparently. So when you join the Facebook group, you get to be in there. It's real chill. There's probably a lot of smoke in the air, but you know, we're all in it for the same goal. We're willing to share ideas about RPGs. We're willing to share stories about our inexperiences and our experiences. Freudian slip. But it's also a place where if you are talkative and you are friendly, then you also have a chance to win the most valuable post. Oh wait, this is the... I wanted to start doing this sound effect when we do the most valuable post. It's a little more
Yay!
A little more on key.
A totally different show now.
It's a different show, guys. Out with the old, in with the blue. But yeah, you have a chance to win the most valuable post. It's the post of the week that is just the best. It's just the absolute best, and we like to honor it. We like to call you out and give you a little bit of a reward, XP, as it were. And this week, I would like to announce the winner of the most valuable post, Mr. Charlie McBroom. That's right. Charlie had a fantastic question, which was meant to be an innocent question, and he just said, you know, I'm sorry if this was asked before, but how did you guys all meet each other? And it just spawned the best answers ever, because no one gave an honest answer, just like the best.
They were all honest.
They're so good. I don't even think any of them were like purposefully like trying to be whatever. I think we all just sort of it's like a joke where everyone in the room doesn't agree to make the joke, but they all just start making it, and then everyone gets it, and it just continues and continues, and it was so fucking fantastic. So thank you, Charlie, for asking that question, because it was a lot of fun. So well done, Charlie. You win the most valuable post. As I mentioned, tonight is Chapter 5, or Episode 5 of Chapters of the Undefeated, our ongoing D&D campaign. If you have yet to join the ranks of our, or flock under your fellow bannermen, speak to Justin on the Facebook page, or Facebook group, I should say, and ask how you can sign up. He's doing these missions every week or every other week to sort of involve you guys in a really fantastic way. Did you want to talk about that a bit, Justin, or is that enough said?
Nope, you pretty much said it all. That's it. Join the Undefeated, and I will put a link in the Discord right now.
Perfect. So there you go. If you want to be involved.
Oh, and spoiler alert, you won't be defeated.
Where's the cricket sound effects again?
Yeah, it's there somewhere, actually.
I know. I wanted to say it and not use it. The joke was saying it, not the actual need for it.
No, I did the joke.
I know. So yeah, please join our Undefeated. It's a lot of fun. Also, this Friday, I'm going to be doing a spooky stream. We got a game from a little company, a Polish company called Red something. Sorry, it's loading. Red Limb Studio. They have a new game coming out called Rise of Insanity, and they sent us the final release version to sort of stream it. Now, there's an embargo for reviews and videos, but it's tomorrow the embargo lifts, March 1st. So we're going to be like right on the cusp Friday night. So if you guys want to check out what this game is like, hang out with me. It starts at 9 o'clock. We're going to experience it together. It kind of looks okay. What?
I said I'll be there.
Damn straight you will. You're the only Invictus person that actually joins the spooky streams.
I'm so not true. I just don't enjoy them.
I just don't enjoy my brother. Actually, you know what? It's on Steam. It looks pretty neat. Rise of Insanity. You should check out some of the photos of it. It looks pretty nice. So we'll check that out Friday night.
Spoiler alert.
At 9 o'clock.
Insane Rise.
Yeah. So that's Friday, 9 o'clock. Anyway, that is it from me.
The really spooky part is how Harlan sits in his underwear and eats Cheetos while playing.
You think that's the spooky part, but that's not even half it. I am fully nude always. And I'm still eating Cheetos. But they're like, I put them in my chest hair, and I fish them out with my tongue. So I don't have to actually do anything. I just lick them.
Check out episode 9.
Like a cat.
Joe's just like literally covering her face. So there you go. That's what we do. Spooky stream. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't joined a spooky stream, you should. They're very chill. We just talk. If you have questions.
Have you ever seen when people wear their hoodie backwards and then they have their hood at the front and then they fill the hood full of snack food and then they can
do that all the time.
It's like that, but my gut acts as that like sort of crevasse, you know. So that's what I fill with Cheetos. Yeah, combination of that and my chest hair and the cheese.
You do like a quick like.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, do you have like a prehensile gut?
I do. Yeah, it's
you get food to creep up.
I'm really selling myself. This makes me feel really good. I'm excited now. This is gonna be fun Friday night. I know. I shouldn't have done it.
Wondering what gel you use on your chest hair.
You just wait. I'm gonna show you, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Thank God from this intro. We are going to start Chapters of the Undefeated, episode 5, starting right about now. Without further ado, let's do this.
As a chapter of the Undefeated, our heroes have been tasked by their superiors with the twin duties of bringing peace and unity to the land. In the town of Zoanth, in the county of Duluth, in the northwestern region of the land of Chervil, they have encountered a sinister evil. A succubus, apparently in the guise of the captain of the guard, was hunted down in her manor house and slain. Her activities, her goals, and her master remain a mystery. It is the moment after Quintus drives his blade into the succubus's neck. Her blood begins to pool in the marble hall. Tatus begins to look unwell, takes a knee, and then passes out. He regains consciousness, blinking in slow agony at the face of Graham, who is cradling his head.
Tatus, what's wrong?
Oh,
Are you all right?
Graham, thank you. I've had another terrible headache. I will tell you about them later, but the dreams, the visions, they permeate through my vision. I feel as though I see the possibilities of the future. They're never for certain, of course. Maybe I'll get into it later.
Was it something the succubus had done? Are you all right?
No, nothing that the succubus had done. You see, I've had these headaches for many, many years, but it's only been recently when they began to surface again. It's hard to explain, and maybe we'll have some time later, but
It's all right.
Thank you for
As long as you're all
catching me.
right. And I sort of put his head down and I look over at the dead body of the succubus. And what does it look like right now?
Interestingly enough, as we spend some time with Tados and he is recovering, pick him up off the floor, when Graham turns back to the body of the succubus, it is no longer there.
Was I looking at it the whole time? I imagine I was. Did I see what happened to it?
Were you looking at it the whole time, or was your attention
No,
drawn by your...
I would have gotten distracted by something. I didn't even know what.
Did it
all
slink
traces,
off?
all traces of her injuries remain on the marble floor, but the body, it appears to be gone.
I stand up nervously and walk over to where the body was.
I
Take a look around perceptively.
Sure. What's that, Alex?
well, I'll let Harlan roll first.
Yeah.
Throw down bones.
So you're just looking around? What do you
Yeah,
specifically look?
maybe if like there's a blood streak off to a direction or like...
Yeah, tracking is survival.
Perfect. So then survival. So wisdom, eh? So +3. So 16.
You pace around the various blood smears on the marble floor, and with your keen eyes, you don't detect any smearing, any footprints. You remember that the injuries that she sustained were not insignificant. It would be difficult, even for a flying creature, to leave this room without markings of some kind.
Can I feel the space that she was in case she's just invisible?
You feel a naked? You feel a boob.
Ooh! Is this? It feels. Is this what a boob feels like? years under the cloth have left me.
No, the space your hand passes through directly to the marble floor, and you touch the blood thereon.
I nervously look to the others.
Can you do a detect good evil?
I'm out of spells, I think, or is that a cantrip?
Is it a cantrip?
I was just about to say, I think it might be a
I
cantrip.
would.
I would like to throw my die
No, it's not.
and see if I just know about succubuses. Maybe they just disappear or fade like a Jedi would.
Yeah, definitely.
So-
Now that you know that we're dealing with a succubus, and considering your heritage as a tiefling, I guess that would be a history check.
That's what I was thinking. Either history or nature or arcana. Either way.
History or arcana, yeah.
Got a 15 for history or
Okay, you know from the lore either you were given as a child or the studies that you've done that succubi have the ability to enter the ethereal plane.
Ah. You see, they have the ability to enter the ethereal plane,
I explained to my counterparts here.
and so perhaps the succubus simply vanished into another parallel universe.
Great. Well, I won't be chasing her there.
No.
But she was gravely injured, so she's not going far. Doesn't matter what plane she ends up on.
Likely she won't last long, and she'd have to, again, come to some sort of form to enter back into this world, which I think at this point is not very likely.
Graham is stirred by what he's seen. Living his entire life, roaming the countryside has left him open to a matter of things, but never a beast of this nature with such deceptive intentions. And the power that overcame Quintus shakes Graham to his core, and he sort of shakes as he looks between the other three and nervously stills his hand, rubbing his bum knee, and kind of says, yes, well, either way, we don't understand why this creature is here. We, unfortunately, my impulsive nature to attack first ended up wounding her beyond the ability for her to discuss with us, obviously. So I suggest we take a quick look around this estate and see what we can find ourselves. And he starts heading upstairs.
Tados stands up and brushes off his knees and dusts himself off and agrees with Graham and continues to search around the main floor of the building.
And Quintus
whatever.
is going to go back into the atrium, or area where he'd been sitting earlier that day, I believe. Is it still the same day?
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. It's in the afternoon, early afternoon, I believe.
All right. And I'm going to open up the cupboard where I saw that she was getting her Salvasian wine from. And I'm going to grab a couple glasses, and I'm going to pour myself one, and then I offer some to Leah as well. Eh?
Yeah, just a small one. Thank you. That was very tasty wine.
Aye. Extremely.
So I guess Leah and Quintus spend just a minute. Cheers, Quintus. Ting.
Cheers to you.
They're actually drinking wine. You guys don't have to role play that well.
We're LARPing.
Oh, I found a bottle of whiskey.
And this water is awfully delicious.
So Quintus and Leah spend just a few minutes in the sitting room that's towards the front of the house. As Graham and Tados split up to investigate the rest of the house. Tados, you hadn't done any sort of investigation here whatsoever.
No.
I'll just give everyone kind of a brief overview of what the house layout is, and then we can go into specifics briefly. So the main entry hall is the first room beyond like the entry alcove, and it's fairly large. There's a big spiral staircase in the eastern wall of the house. And then along the northern wall of the entry hall, there are 3 doors, I believe. A door into a dining room type area, a door into a kitchen, which Graham had investigated before and found to be occupied. I'm not sure if that information was conveyed to Tados or not. And also a door to the washroom. And then Graham had also found that through the dining room there is kind of a staircase down into a spooky root cellar type area. Graham, as you go up the spiral staircase, you hit a large landing on the second floor. It's a long, narrow room with a big oil portrait at the one end. And then there are 4 doors leading off of this main hallway. Why don't we start with Quintus?
Sorry.
Or not Quintus, sorry, Tados.
So there's 3 doors on the main floor.
That's right. Apart from the sitting room, which is to the south.
Okay. So I guess I'll tell you what I'm looking for, and then I think I'd have where I might go. So what I'm looking for is based on what the succubus said last, which was that she was sent by someone else.
Yes.
And that she was not, there on her own. So what I'm going to be looking for are maybe written notes or letters. So looking around, where would be, is there a study or something close to it?
Not on the main floor. So you poke your head in these rooms. Actually, you find the kitchen unoccupied.
Because we got the kitchen, the sitting room.
Yep, the dining room and a washroom.
The dining room and the washroom. Okay, well, I mean, I'll go into the kitchen, I guess.
Yeah. It is, modernly furnished, as modern as things get in traditional D&D technology. There's a very well-stocked pantry. It smells like lunch has already been served, and you would presume that the chef is on a little bit of time off before starting dinner service.
Okay. Well, whatever is out, I'm going to pick at it and eat some of it. And
Great.
I'll probably go through the cupboards and pilfer a few of the more profitable items.
Yeah, so you take a glazed leg of meat of some kind.
Nice.
Some artisanal cheeses.
Nice.
Maybe a nut-studded loaf of bread.
Wow.
Are there dried cranberries in the loaf?
No.
Yeah.
Don't want any of
Nope.
this.
Those aren't.
Oh,
Sorry, Harlan.
I love
Bread, leg of something.
Yeah, and whatever else you would like to steal from this
Some,
kitchen, you
some
absolutely can.
fava beans and maybe a nice Chianti.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay, and then that's pretty much. I guess I would like to still do a roll for investigation to see if there's anything out of the ordinary that I may
Please
come
do.
across a natural 20.
Ooh.
What?
You find some very expensive looking knives in one of the drawers, which you might like to have on you, or you might not.
I will take those.
You would just treat them as standard knives, but they are hefty looking.
I might be able
Cleavers
to
and whatnot.
sell them. Anything? I don't imagine that there's nothing. Maybe anything hidden in a hidden cupboard of some sort.
No, not in this
No
room.
fake walls or anything that I just stumble across.
You run your hand along the pine walls of this kitchen and
tacky.
appreciate the color.
Oh, pine burns very easily, not like my stone.
As Tados comes back out of the kitchen, he meets with Leah and Quintus in the entry hall as the camera moves up to Graham, who is investigating the second floor.
And Graham's taken a moment, the minute he's away from them, to sort of allow himself to have a bit of like a panic almost. And he leans against the wall and he rubs his sore knee again and sort of just breathes in what he's just experienced, the creature that lifted itself off the ground before them and seemingly, would have destroyed them had they not acted quickly. He sort of holds his pendant for Alistair's light for a second and sort of just breathes to himself and then looks down to make sure that they're not seeing him and composes himself. What does the oil painting depict?
It is a portrait of Rowan Estelle, the captain of the guard, and a beautiful blonde woman.
Do I recognize her at all?
You do not.
Right. And you said there are 4 doors.
Yes.
I will go to the first door.
There's 2 to the north, 2 to the south.
Okay.
So if you are starting at, I don't know.
I'll go to the first north.
Great. So you open the door into kind of a dusty looking chamber that is a study. There are a number of books. There is a desk. There's a fireplace.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check I'm going to check the 4 doors first before I decide to spend which room I'm going to go into. So study.
Yep, you find a small room that seems to house accommodations that would be appropriate for servants.
Okay.
That's
the other north?
Sorry?
That's the other one in the north?
Yeah.
Okay.
You find a dining room and a master bedroom that has an adjoining washroom.
Perfect. So I'll go back to the study.
I will also say that in the master bedroom there is another smaller staircase leading up.
Ah, okay. Yeah, we'll do that after. I'll head back to the study for now.
Okay.
And I will enter the study and run my eyes over the room and focusing on the desk specifically. With a 16.
Investigation of 16.
Oh, sorry, no. Investigation.
Or perception.
I was just doing a perception.
After perception, you have a 20.
Right, so I'll just do a perception to start. See if there's anything that jumps out.
You're going to roll it?
Well, I'll use my passive perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dust is strange. You would assume that this room has been unused for a little while.
Okay. Actually, I'll go back out in the hall because I want to vacate this house relatively quick, and I call down to the others and I say, "Come up here. There's a few rooms that need to be searched." And
Oh, have you found anything yet?
As Tados comes kind of rushing up the stairs.
and I tell each of them to take a room. I look to who is the best perception or investigate, I should say, out of Quintus and and Lee.
I've got
Not to metagame, but
Sorry. Well, which of you has the keenest mind towards understanding these things?
I have a very high intelligence score.
Leah, why don't you take the bedroom? There's a set of stairs that led up.
Don't make me investigate my own house.
Well, I'm trying to make it quick and also thorough. I can't do it all.
To be fair, why don't we suggest where Leah should search?
I would suggest the bedroom.
That way she can't. You're going to suggest the bedroom?
Well, yes. Well, fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Do a thorough investigation of the bedroom.
Absolutely.
Check under the mattress.
And then I'll go back into the study.
A 12. Anyone else want to do some rolls? Let's just get the rolls out of the way.
I'm going to look around, sloshing my glass of wine around. Let's see here. And what are the other rooms we haven't investigated?
A servant's quarters, a small room, and a dining room.
Great.
I don't think we're going to find anything in the dining room.
Probably not, but I found that other set of stairs in the dining room, so who knows? Maybe there'll be a full carcass there.
All right, I got oh, that's a 13. Oh, I got a 12 for my investigation.
And where are you investigating?
Oh, the general area that Graham puts me in.
I sent him to the servant's room, I guess.
Great. There are 2 chests that are unlocked and empty at the foot of 2 small cots. Nothing underneath them. They're threadbare and kind of old-looking mattresses and sheets.
Is that dusty in here, or has it been cleaned?
It is. It is dusty in here.
Aye. All right. Well, I found some dust. That's about it. Any luck for you guys?
I had a 20 with my perception in this study, just passively, and I rolled an 11 to investigate in the study.
Okie doke. You notice that while everything is kind of overlaid with a thin layer of dust, that there are several books that have been pawed through recently.
I take them.
Great.
I'll just take them. And I open the drawers, and any papers I scoop up and I take them.
Oh,
okay.
man.
Do you have a bag of holding?
I have a backpack.
I just mean, how many books are you taking?
How many books looked like they were
My
used?
rule for encumbrance is I'm never going to make people talk about the weight of everything that they're carrying until they start grabbing everything.
I just figured there were loose. How many books roughly looked like they were used?
Like a dozen, 2 dozen.
Oh, okay. Then no.
In like wall of bookshelves.
I see. Okay. I thought it was like 3 for some reason. Okay, so yeah, I'll just grab a few books then. Just anything that maybe jumps out. Can I do like a luck roll or something? Or or maybe just roll like a d12 or something like that, like 3 times. I don't know how you want to do it. It doesn't matter to me, but I want to.
Not a mechanic in D&D.
Well, I mean, like just a random way to like I don't know, pick 3 random books and like whatever. I'll just grab 3 books.
Why don't you just roll?
I will. Graham picks 3 books that look the most. He kind of quickly scans the titles if there are titles and grabs 3 books.
Perfect.
Because I feel like that is fair to cover, and then any loose papers that seem to be out and not laden with dust, he'll grab.
Okay.
And then he will join Leah in the master bedroom.
Yes. Tados, you checked out the dining room briefly?
I checked out the kitchen. I've now gone up the stairs, but the dining room's not upstairs, right?
It is, yes.
Oh, well, what else has to be discovered?
That was it.
Okay, fine. Then yeah, I'll do an investigative roll. And 9.
9. There's a nice chandelier in here.
Yeah. And you know what I would do though is I would go underneath the table and kind of feel underneath the table, the edge of the table. It's just what I would do, looking for.
You get a sliver.
Oh,
this really stings. Ow.
It blisters, and bubbles.
Aaliyah calls everyone into the master bedroom. I think I know what this is, but I'm not sure.
Oh my god, that's a Grand King bed, Leah.
I've
only ever seen one of those in my life.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. There's like the 4 posts and everything.
These things are 20 feet wide.
It does look recently slept in. But Leah has her back turned to you. She is looking atop a dresser, a low dresser, or what is it called when there's like it's like where ladies sit to powder their faces.
a credenza.
Armoire.
Or something.
Makeup.
I was thinking armoire, but no. You said it there, Justin.
Tell me in the comments.
What are those things? Yes. We know the ones you're talking about, though.
She is leaning over a...
What's that, Justin?
Vanity.
Thank you.
That's it.
Vanity.
Yeah.
She's She's leaning over a broad and shallow silver bowl that is full of water.
Can we do Arcana rolling or something?
Well, I think I know what this is. Just being a wizard and all. Though I don't know how to use it. I think this is used for scrying.
Scrying?
Oh, okay. So it lets you see things that are far away from you if you know enough about what you're trying to spy on. It's like spying, but it's scrying.
It's a magic mirror.
Yeah, sort of. There's not a lot of magic in it so much as it's something a magician uses. This is very interesting.
Should we
Is
take
it filled with water?
Yes, it is.
Should we take it, or is it something that's dangerous?
I don't know. And I'm gonna roll against myself to do an Arcana check. Fuck yeah, natural 20.
Nice.
I think we should probably take it, and it doesn't look dangerous to me. And she kind of like picks it up, this like little halfling with a big bowl of water that's filled to the brim. It's like very comical, kind of like
yeah.
Wait, and I reach over and I scoop up some water with my wine glass and I say, "Oh, thank you."
And she totters over to the washroom and heaves out some water into one of the tubs that are...
I was going to ask, it doesn't have to be filled with water. It only has to be filled with water to use it.
Yes.
Perfect.
So,
Graham's going to head up the stairs, too, knowing that...
the second set of stairs?
Yeah, just to find out what the heck is up there.
It appears to be a disused nursery that has been thrown into disarray. There was once furniture that would have been used in typical nursery, cradle, rocking chair, that sort of thing. The rocking chair is tipped on its side. The cradle has kind of been smashed at one end. And this furniture has obviously been pushed to the sides of the room to clear the way for the drawing, which is on the floor. Appears to be a pentagram in a circle surrounded by a number of runes.
And I rolled a 14 to investigate that, to see if I can figure out what that is. Or would it be Arcana, maybe?
Arcana, please.
Okay, I'll reroll.
You'll reroll. Okay.
Or I can use 14.
Get a higher one?
No,
Yes,
I'll
please.
use 14. Okay, I'll use 14 then. It's better than what I rerolled.
Why would you reroll?
I don't know. I wanted to be fair. I rolled the first time for investigation. I figured if I just switched it to a different application, it wouldn't be fair. I don't know. I'm not against it. 14 it is. Arcana.
14 Arcana. You recognize this to be a summoning circle.
And does it look like it's been recently used?
Though the room appears out of order, there are tracks through the dust in this room that would indicate that people have been up here recently.
People, eh? Can I do a tracking on them just to see if there's different sizes of feet or...
Yeah, you can roll survival.
Okay.
And Graham, as you are examining the dust on the floor of this room, we
6.
hear the door, the main front door, open downstairs.
Hello.
And the sounds of maybe, well, Graham, with your perception, you hear about 8 or 10 people come in
Great.
through the front door.
Okay. Well, I come back down to the master bedroom. I say, there sounds to be 8 to 10 people downstairs.
Do we exit through the windows or go and face them?
Well, there's no body, necessarily, but there is a lot of blood in the front hall.
I think it'd be better to be honest with the villagers, don't you? Explain.
I believe
Might
so.
help our case.
I don't... It
It'll
might not
help
be
our
the...
case and it'll help the town.
But it might be the guards that are in right now. For all we
I
know, if...
believe so.
Well, if the Rowan, if the succubus entered the Eternal Plane and turned back into his original form, he might have just gone more. I thought we
I can
killed him.
disguise. I can disguise myself.
Go be a guard then, and go downstairs and tell them that the upstairs is clear. We'll hide up in the top.
I'll do that.
And as we are discussing how we're going to deal with this new threat, we hear the voice of Mayor Leslie. Captain Rowan? Captain Rowan, are you here?
I cast.
All right.
So I motion for Quintus and Leah and myself to head up to the top, and good luck, Tados. Pretend
And
you're
I
a
say,
guard.
I say, no, this isn't the way. And I step out. I say,
wanna
you
play-
guys can stay if you want to, but I'm going down.
Okay, I'll follow.
When I go down, I say, the captain isn't here.
So you descend the grand staircase as they're
descend the
standing
step.
gathered in the entry hall, examining the blood and such.
I'm sure you have a lot of questions.
What has happened here? Mayor Leslie stands. Her hair is frazzled. She's got her like jacket on her coat buttoned so that they're like mismatched. She's obviously like rushed out the door, and then there are half dozen guards milling around, looking alarmed.
Well, as you might have known, we were invited over to the captain's house for a meal. And, well, it turns out your captain wasn't exactly the person who we all thought that he might have been. In fact, if you will look downstairs in the cellar, there are a bunch of bones there that I didn't put there. And also, if you look up there, there is some very interesting things that do not generally fit into the lifestyle of a honest, good town guard captain, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I think I may have some idea about what you mean. About 20 minutes ago, I was summoned by Captain Estal to come here to his aid urgently to assemble a retinue of guards. And then I couldn't hear him anymore. At first I realized something was wrong when I thought about how strange it would be that I would be speaking with the captain and him not be in my presence.
Aye, very strange. Well, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. In fact, Graham, you came down too, right?
I did, yeah, and I sort of nod to you, Quintus, and I nod back to the mayor, and kind of understanding that I guess as we dived more and more into this sort of the town, that I've almost changed who I was, and that oddly enough Quintus has sort of woken me up a little bit to being more honest as being the undefeated, that this is how we need to approach these things. And I sort of almost thank him a little bit in sort of a nod, and I say, yes, Mayor, yes, any questions you might have in us dealing with the creature, we'd be more than happy to help.
There's blood on the floor. This is my primary concern. Are you injured? What has happened here?
We came in, and we retell the tale of what happened.
Yeah.
I am slightly
Episode
injured, yes.
4.
I need to sit down just for a moment. Guards, please secure the premises. Make sure we are not disturbed. And they go and secure all of the entrances and exits. And she says, Undefeated, if you would please follow me. And she heads straight into the study and goes into the liquor cabinet and finds a bottle of wine.
And I fair enough. And I say to the mayor, I say, Mayor, there's a concern that we have experienced in this town, and it's the people being taxed, overwhelmingly so. Could you shed some light onto that for us? Was it something to do with Captain Stahl? Was there any coercion from outside forces that caused this?
I'm sorry. I've just found out that the captain of the guard, my right-hand man, has been a succubus since I don't know when, and you're worried about taxes, Graham?
We just want to leave the town as quickly as possibly.
Certainly. No, I understand. You, of course, have things to do as protectors of the realm, and yes, you told me about the goals of the undefeated. I'm sorry, as you might understand, my mind is somewhat fogged as of late. I can only imagine what controls this creature has put over me.
And well, for that, we don't blame you in any way, shape, or form, and that's why it's important to find out exactly what's happened. Ultimately, these creatures are powerful things. Quintus here himself was, as you heard in our retelling of the story, was charmed slightly.
Well,
was I?
Just a bit, just a touch.
Really? I don't remember that at all.
Was it sexy, Quintus?
I didn't remember it at all. I'm sorry. It might have been. Was it sexy, Tadus?
I'm actually not in the room.
Where are you?
Sorry, not Tadus.
But I was actually at the top of the stairs hiding behind the wall. In case things went bad, I kind of had some backup plans in mind.
Okay, so are you still up there?
I am. I'm kind of listening for any negative, for things to turn negatively.
Okay. Why don't you roll stealth for me as the guards swarm all over this place?
Fair enough. My stealth is... Let's see. So 13 total.
Okay. And you said you're like behind a door or something.
Literally, yeah. Like I stepped in behind a wall.
That'll do for now. So the Mayor Leslie continues to recount what has happened to her. Well, Graham, as to your question about taxes, I don't believe Rowan Stahl had anything specifically to do with it, though I shudder to think how many deaths in this town were a cause of this creature. He, or I suppose she, was always vehemently in demand of those who could not pay being put to death for whatever reason we could manage to find them guilty of. And yes, I suppose large sums of money were being carted out of town.
To where were they being carted?
Well, to the capital, of course. Though I was being led to believe that that the fuck is it called when there's the Baroness.
Yeah.
I was led to believe that it was the Baroness's edict. I don't remember ever having seen anything official from her.
Maybe she's a succubus too.
Well, who actually told you that who told you that the Baroness wants to increase the taxes? You said it was a letter that was delivered to you, perhaps?
No, I mean, Rowan told me of such a thing.
Right. And where was the carts? Who was in charge of delivering the cart?
Rowan, of course, because the roads are so dangerous. They left every 10-day. Carts full of gold.
Did he go himself, or did he carry a guard or two?
He would take a guard with him, a single guard, and would go himself as well.
Was it always the same guard?
No.
Can we speak to one of the guard? Must have been Richard. Must have been Richard. Good old Richard. Good old
At least
Dick.
one of them.
Oh, we have many Richards here.
Afterwards, we would like to speak with one of the guards who went.
Please.
That's very important, actually.
And at this, I come back. I come down. I open myself up. I show that I've been hiding, and I come out with my hands up, and I say,
I am simply listening on the conversation. I am curious. How did you ever know if the money actually made it to the Baroness? Do you know?
Well, I suppose I trusted my captain of the guard, as a mayor is likely to.
Let me rephrase. Do you know if the money ever reached the Baroness? Do you have a word from the Baroness that money was received?
I haven't received correspondence from the Baroness in a number of years. But I was led to believe that we were in good standing.
And I turn to Leah and Quintus and Graham, and I say,
this could be somewhere to start. Find out if the money even made it to the Baroness.
It most likely didn't.
Well, yes, I have a bit of a half-baked theory. I heard that the goblins that have been giving the town a little bit of trouble ever since the fracture have stopped in around the time that the taxes have been going up. Now, this is just a crackpot theory, me being the crackpot, but I didn't think that it's going to the Baroness. I think that maybe it's being used to pay off some drifters that would see bad to the town. They want to be careful.
I definitely agree that the money is not going to the Baroness, but I think perhaps the succubus was delivering it to her master, or for their own purposes. I doubt that it would be as honorable to pay off the goblins, but it's very possible. She seemed like she had some motivation behind this. So, at the very least, if we can speak to a guard who went with her, or him rather, we should be able to track it down if they weren't charmed completely. But more importantly, and I turn to the mayor and say, you no longer need to tax the people anymore. At the very least, without the salary of Rowan to be needing on the books, that should alleviate some of the stress on these people. What they're doing is cutting far much into the wood and causing a disturbance with the creatures that live there. And believe me, you don't want any more hassle from the sprites that inhabit the woods.
Yes, no, I recall asking you to deal with them.
Well, the easiest...
And all throughout this time, we have had the sprites around us, invisible, kind of hanging out in the house, assisting us. And Leslie kind of scratches her head, and she's like, yes, Grandma, I understand what you're saying. I'll have to revisit the whole economic structure of this town now that I truly have my wits about me. And I want to say thank you to all of you. Clearly, you risked much to be here and to do right by our town. And I would ask you a favor. Unfortunately, I have no reliable correspondence with the capital city, and I need to know whether this town is in debt still, or how much indeed we need to be paying in terms of taxes. I would ask you to make your way to the capital on our behalf, please.
Absolutely.
Additionally, memories are coming back to me now through a haze that Rowan, or I suppose the succubus, spoke once or twice of the will of an abjurer, a necromancer to whom she was bound. A couple of times in passing, almost lovingly. And at the time I thought she was speaking of an old colleague or professor, but of course it's so much more obvious.
Must be the friend. As I turn to the others,
The lady friend that came to the town.
Mm-hmm.
perhaps a necromancer queen. Very interesting. And I turn to the mayor and I say,
I think she had more to say, Mayor.
The name of which is...
I was going to say, let's finish the thought first.
Shostis Emblem, I believe.
Shostis Emblem. Is that last name first or first name last?
I have no way of knowing.
Shostis Emblem sounds like Shostis, emblem.
Is there anything else, Mayor, that you can possibly give us to help us, in locating where these carts might have been taken? Any sort of direction, anything in your memory that Rowan might have said about where these trucks of gold were being shipped off to, or anything a guard might have said, or anything else at all within the town that might be of aid?
Well, I do know that they were heading out on the road towards Sallisaw.
Sallisaw.
Yes, just north of here, along the river. You head the north road out of town, and you can't miss it.
Mayor, we need 2 more things from you before we leave your fine town. First and foremost, please inform all your citizens as soon as possible to stop cutting the wood. Tell them that the tax problem will be dealt with and that the need to burn the forest is no longer needed. It'll help the sprites and frankly it'll restore the balance that you've had with the wood, and it'll help you more than anything else. And secondly, if you can make a call to any of your people to let them know that the Undefeated is looking for people, strong people like your blacksmith, who we'll be speaking to very shortly. Anyone who is able-bodied, willing to reunite the fractured lands that we have. It would be the greatest benefit to our calling.
Graham, Quintus, Tados, Leah, I will do this for you. You have proven yourselves not just useful, but shown a way of life that I think we should be carrying into the future, this Undefeated. At first, when I offered my guards to you for completing a mission that is now so misguided, I thought I was merely offering a carrot, some silly ragtag group of rebels, but now I understand that there's something much greater to be earned.
Well, we appreciate you having your faith put in us. And not because I doubt her.
She reaches over. She takes your hand, Quintus. She takes your hand, Graham. She looks over at Tados and gives you a nod. Yes, yes.
And not because I want to, but just because Dustin said, I'm going to roll insight just to make sure she's not, like, still under some sort of terrible spell.
Absolutely.
7. I failed anyway. But Dustin's just like, you should really make sure that it's not the fucking succubus in another form.
Dustin knows how it is. Insight is an extremely important skill. So that being said, I will say that unless anyone else wants to do anything here,
I think the sprites should reveal themselves and touch her just in case.
Do you want to insinuate that?
Yeah, a little bit.
What do you say?
I just say, sprites, you have nothing more to fear. Meet your mayor, and I think that you each can help each other.
Lord Dewdrop, like, bring, appears on your shoulder in like a little shower of blue sparks, and he's like, Graham, thank you so much for your service to the forest. He looks over at the mayor and he's like, Madame, I am Lord Dewdrop. I'm charmed, I'm sure. Do you mind? And he flutters over to her shoulder and does the heart sensing thing and turns around to you and goes, yeah.
Could you imagine?
She's good.
But like, tiny, tiny, tiny little thumbs like, yeah.
Like mine.
And that's an 8-bit music plays. And then we leave.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was imagining.
I was thinking more like King's Quest, like
No.
That's
Alex,
exactly what I'm referring to.
Okay.
Actually, it was King's Quest.
oh yeah, when you
and
solve
I would like to give you guys all 50 XP for that resolution.
Hey, all
We
right.
are,
XP.
I believe, sitting at 625.
All right. And as we leave, and we get out onto the street and we don't really say much, all of a sudden Quintus leaps into the air and he goes, ah! Yes, we did it! We completed our first mission. We are amazing, aren't we? Leah, we are amazing.
High five!
Yeah! Tados, we are amazing. Right, Tados?
Yes, and I smash
Yes.
my horns into his hand.
All right. And Graham,
and
very well done.
Graham just sort of
Absolutely
looks at you.
amazing.
Yes.
We are amazing. Right.
Let's speak to the blacksmith on our way out of town.
Back to business. All right, Graham. Very well. Don't you think that we are in need of a celebration? Maybe it's the wine talking, I don't know. Hey, Leah.
It's pretty good wine. Did you snag a bottle of that on the way out?
I did. I've got a nice Chianti.
Well, I got one too, so that makes 2 of them. We're
Excellent.
gonna have fun later, Graham.
So you want to make your way to Hammer Smacky, the
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just like as we don't even have to role play it. Like really, we're just gonna drop in, tell him to join us, and then if he says no, well, I guess I should role play it. Never mind.
No, we don't.
Yeah, who's
I mean,
gonna
it
play
is like
that?
a role-playing game, but
Well, I don't want to. I want to tell more story. I just didn't
Yeah.
want to
Choose
dwell
what
too.
we
I mean, he
want.
basically
by episode.
he basically already said, "I'll join you when you leave," and we're
we
leaving.
we start recruiting NPCs, and by episode 12, like Joe's playing 8 characters.
You have like an
Yeah, dude.
army.
So interestingly enough, when you swing by Hammer Smacky, Merle is hanging out, and he does have a bag packed. But when you explain to him the circumstances of why you're leaving the town and the successful mission that's happened and how the town is going to be benefited, lower taxes and all that, he actually feels kind of beholden to stay in town and help the guards because now there's no captain and there's still a threat from the outside world.
Can I convince him otherwise?
You can
Literally,
roll
this is the
persuasion.
smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Literally, the smart thing to do is to build the Undefeated from the ground up and not take everybody that wants to join with
Not
us.
everybody, but having a blacksmith would
It's
be
not
pretty
gonna help us
beneficial.
at all.
Really? I feel like that would be really
A
beneficial.
blacksmith does not, just because they work with a hammer doesn't mean they can fight.
They can like sharpen
Like,
your blade. I guess that's more
Yeah.
like not actually
I can
mechanic.
sharpen a blade too.
It's not really mechanic based though, I suppose. Fair enough. Okay.
Like they smith the metal. They don't sharpen blades.
Yeah.
But he does have a weapon that he wants to gift a member of our party. This was a weapon that was handed down to him from his ancestors. It is a +1 blah blah blah. So whoever wants a magical weapon,
Oh, what? A +1
make
blah
your
blah blah?
case.
A plus
Yeah,
one blah
so-
blah blah.
Essentially, he's got a +1 something.
or
Well,
other.
is it a
Depending on
magic
whoever
weapon?
wants it.
Can we decide? Can we
because-
take it and decide who takes it later based on actual stats and stuff like that? Because I don't really know what we all have.
I think he'd want to present it. No.
Yeah, let's pick it now. Who
Okay.
wants to
What does
the
everyone
magic
have?
weapon?
I just have a a
Well-
longbow. What's your spear do?
My spear, I've got one, it's +5 already.
I
I'm
have a
thinking
scimitar.
about, as I'm thinking about it, I mean, I'm definitely open to discussion, but in terms of the people who actually use swords
Yeah.
in combat and get up close and personal, I think I'm really the only one.
Yeah.
Plus
I
you
was
do
gonna
too as a cleric.
I was
I
gonna
was
say
going
you
to
as well?
recommend.
No, I was gonna say you or Leah.
Yeah.
I'm a blade singer now. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I was like, we should probably math this out because I'm spell. I don't need it. Tados, but
I
she.
would
But
say Quintus. Probably.
I would say Quintus too because Leah also does spells.
Yeah. So do you want to stay? I don't think he would still have a spear, Quintus.
That I would have a spear or he would
I
have a
mean,
spear?
I don't know if he would have a spear. Do you want a spear?
I would love a spear.
Why
That'd
don't
be
you
great.
take a look at the list of equipment on page 149 of the player's handbook?
Ooh. All right.
while we deal with what comes up next, and then we can
Decide whether it's a blade or a spear.
yeah, totally.
Is that what you're saying?
Essentially, what it is it's any one of these weapons, anything that you want. It's a +1 to your to hit and also to your damage rolls, and it counts as a magical weapon for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, I would say whatever it is, I think it should go to Quintus.
Yeah, cool. So we'll just say that,
Yeah,
and then
agreed.
if any combat happens, this episode you will have had to decide by then.
Perfect.
All right. And is it 159? You said
At 149. Yeah, 149.
49. Okay.
And then,
And then-
we hug Marguerite goodbye.
Oh my god! You keep taking what I want to say.
We go to her cottage.
Sorry, Zia said it. I didn't know you said it.
I literally was like, good idea.
Sorry.
Hey, Zia. I didn't
That's
see you
okay.
earlier.
Thanks, Zia.
Yeah, we head out to
Hey, Andrew.
Marguerite. Marguerite, you'll never guess what happened. We fought the captain of the guard, Rowena Stahl, who turned out to be a sexy demon lady. And we think that we killed her, but then she also disappeared. And then Tados had some kind of migraine problem. Are you okay, Tados, by the way?
Yes, they. As I started to explain earlier, and I will explain at some point, I've had these headaches ever since I was mid-teens, and I'll go into it later. But yes, I'm okay. Thank you very much for asking.
And then we talked to the mayor, and then she said we're the best, and she's gonna lower all the taxes on everybody, and the sprites are gonna be safe. And Graham had like this really cool speech. I'm sorry, I had a couple of glasses of wine. And she sits down on the hearth of Marguerite's fire as Marguerite kind of looks from one to the other, and she's like, well, thank you very much, all of you, for doing all that you have for the village, and especially for me. For my cows are home safely, and now I know that the Fae are friends.
Well, thank you for all the potatoes.
Yeah, and she actually,
Yes.
as she's saying this, she's kind of rummaging around in the kitchen. She's like, I'm sorry, I just can't see you off without giving you a couple of these.
And-
Just like raw potatoes.
And actually, with that said, I pull from my bag this nice glazed leg of lamb, and I say,
For everything you've done for us,
as I lay it upon her table, food.
Oh my goodness,
yes,
delicious! Thank you very much.
share it with your friends if you wish. We're off to save the day again.
And then the
Goodbye,
sprites,
Marguerite.
the sprites like all like hooray, yay, and they have a party with Marguerite in her cottage. That's canon.
I don't think every adventure is going to end this positively, so let's celebrate it while we can. And I take the wine from Quintus's hand and I take a swig.
That's the
Oof, and I hand it back.
Hey, that's not milk, but it'll do you.
And let's stop there for the mid-game post! That's right, ladies and gentlemen, it's the time where we stop the action and we jump over to the Discord chat and we ask you a question. Oh no, we're doing it different this week.
we are?
I
What are
think
we
so.
doing, Harlan?
Have
We
you
are.
have you used
I
the name
posted,
yet?
Yeah,
Perfect. Turning my voice
Shostis
down.
Emblin is the name of the necromancer abjurer that I wanted to speak to the community about. So yesterday I put up a post on Facebook asking anyone who's interested to please give me one NPC name of their choosing, male or female, and of the people who complied by that direction. A lot of people gave me multiples, and that was lovely, but I'm only
What?
interested
You didn't like
in-
my multiples?
One and-
Vermicelli?
You don't get to enter, Harlan.
What?
Unfortunately.
You didn't like mine?
Everyone did a great job.
Beatrice?
Those, I mean, everyone should be named Richard from here on out. Because anyway, we know that coming up with NPC names is tricky on the fly, and I wanted to give people the opportunity to name an important NPC. I believe it was Godpool who spent XP to name Rowena Stahl from the previous stretch of the story. So Patrick Ewing named Shostas Emblem.
There we go.
Thank you, Patrick. And for your contribution, you earn 1 XP.
Well done, buddy. And a great way to involve the community. Although I'm still sad that you didn't pick mine. What's wrong with pizza pie and rigatoni?
You get to name your...
Vermicelli. Dry ramen.
All right.
Were you just going through the pantry?
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Cayenne pepper.
Vermicelli. That's hilarious.
Just a bunch of noodles.
That's the way it is. So instead of the mid-game post thing, we're just going to chill for like 5 minutes and everyone get a drink. If you're watching at home, go get yourself a drink. Go get yourself a snack.
Here's what I'm drinking tonight. I've cracked this bottle, and I've already had a few from it.
Well, he does a bottle a stream.
It is Wednesday night. You know,
it's a Wednesday night. I might get myself some more wine. I wanted to ask the stream actually. So actually, no, I don't need to anymore. Sorry, I was going to ask whether or not Quintus should go with a lance or a spear.
I just posted about lances. It's a special weapon. So it does look good, but in practice, it's very long and unwieldy. So if you get yourself a horse, that might be a good idea.
Yes.
When you're charging into combat. But
for that one specific instance, it would be great.
Well, if you wanted to build like
jousting,
a cavalier type fighter, then the lance is a great weapon.
For sure. No, I think I'm going to stick with the spear because I do have dueling style, which gives me +2 to damage with spears. So
maybe you could have a spear. Maybe it's a spear, but with a really long steel piece at the end, so that it's wood only in like a quarter, and then 3/4 is steel. Oh, plus it's magic, you know.
And it's dragon forged.
Oh,
that's right.
yeah.
Dragon forged. Cool.
Cool.
That's right. Dragon
Thanks,
George.
Everyone.
Well, I helped.
Thank you especially.
And now you have a spear for throwing. That you're like your spear that you brought to the game.
Aerodynamic. It's got wings and it sails.
You got a spear and
it's an arrow as well.
Oh, I can run into combat with 2 spears. And
yeah, but then your
mouth
thing doesn't work, and your shield in your mouth. It's kind of tricky to look around a shield that's in your mouth. But
no, you just run in there and hope for the best.
You could cut a little eye hole in it.
That's true.
And then an arrow will go right through it. Danger.
Well, only if you're fighting Robin Hood.
That's true.
I'm basically Robin Hood. Let's be honest
not
here.
Fucking Robin Hood.
Whoa. Kevin Costner is Robin Hood, and I'm fucking Kevin Costner, so
all right.
You're
definitely
fucking Kevin Costner?
I didn't want to say it this way, but
Such a lucky guy.
I know.
Wow. Oh man.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I haven't been keeping up with the Discord too much because I'm busy running a whole world right now, but y'all are funny. Y'all are funny. We have some good people on.
We're the best people.
Discord channel.
We have some good beefana. Is that what you said?
We have the best people.
We have good people.
These people are making hilarious jokes like vermicelli.
Okay, get this one. Get this one. I'm thinking about shaving my body hair into vertical stripes so I can appear taller.
Who said that?
John Regan.
That's good.
I laughed.
These are pretty good. And someone joined.
Zia, I didn't get more tattoos. This is just reg.
Just regged.
Yeah, she was happy.
It's the same one that she pulls up her sleeve every week. It's just take it off, Joe. Show them.
What?
Take it off.
Take off your tattoo.
Take it off. I can't
your tattoo. Your
fakie.
Yeah. You don't want to take it off. I don't blame you.
I'm gonna get some dice tattoos. I'm really excited. I'm gonna get the polyhedrals on this arm and fill in some spots that I don't have. This one here.
Well,
get ready.
Should do it on your face or on your neck.
I have a neck tattoo. It's just back of my head.
Oh man.
I'm gonna do one right here.
I've been to prison.
On my forehead.
I've been to the
doing one
RPG
right here.
prison.
You're gonna get tattooed on your face?
Yeah, but but it doesn't really matter because I can just take this off.
My God, Alex! I thought that was your real face.
See how ugly it is.
Can we please talk about the amazing depiction of Tados in that fan art?
Oh my God, so
Jose.
good.
Or Jose.
Did we find out how it's pronounced. I don't
Is it Jose or Jose? Because Jose is a Portuguese. Ramirez sounds. It could be either or. I really don't know.
Anyway, that
so
I
good.
think it's a
personification,
fucking-
the way that Tadus looks so like tortured. Oh, it's so fucking good.
Very
I
good.
think
Just
everybody
the
looks
detail on your
fantastic.
face and like cheekbones and stuff. Oh,
I was showing my wife tonight. She's like, "That's not how anybody looks." I'm like, "It's a depiction of our imagination, Harm. Come on!" And she's like, "Oh right, okay, yeah."
That's
But
so
and then
good.
she's like, "But that doesn't even look." I'm like, "Remember the mask I wear?" She's like, "Oh right, but the horns aren't that. It's a depiction card."
Some people get role playing, some people don't. That's just, it's nothing wrong with it.
She likes sports. She's good at sports. You know, I don't blame her. I'm not very good at sports. Whatever. I prefer
man.
this.
Can you imagine an Invictus sports team?
Oh
Oh
god.
man, that would be hilarious.
Let's not.
What even sport would we play?
All joking aside, last week I did trampoline dodgeball, and
Is that a
was
thing?
really Yeah, it is.
Wow.
My
That
That
sister-in-law
sounds so
started
fun.
a league, and they needed an extra player.
League for what?
Trampoline dodgeball.
Trampoline dodgeball.
Did you win?
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I actually, very first funny thing. I'm standing on the field. Very first
I love
thing
that you're
that
so
happens,
excited all of this
the guy across from me whips it. It goes right in my face. Like literally, I was like, "Slam! Oh, slammo!" And I was like, "Oh!" And I walked off the field.
Slammo.
Which by walk off the field, you mean you bounced off the track?
Literally, yeah, bounce. It's a bounce.
That's the most fun.
I don't know what sport if we wanted to win, there's not many options. If we just wanted to have an Invictus Sports League, then I don't know.
Oh, downhill falling.
Downhill falling. As opposed to uphill falling.
Yeah, that's more
The much
difficult.
tougher, the much tougher of the two, uphill falling.
Oh!
It's like upstairs falling.
You guys want to get back to the game?
But you do upstairs
What
fall
game?
when you get really
Oh,
excited and you trip on the stairs
Yeah. That's what it sounds
or
like.
down the stairs on Easter morning when you trip down.
Why Easter?
Because it was Easter morning that I fell down the stairs.
Oh,
You did or I did? One of
I
us
did. Remember? I went like head over head. Like remember? It was like
I
almost like
do
a
remember
somersault. It was ridiculous.
That was like a bit of a liability.
how old were you?
How old were we?
Probably like 6.
Remember when you pushed me down the stairs and the pencil got stuck in my leg?
We were fighting, and you had a pencil in your hand. It's not my fault that we fell down the stairs.
I
and
still have a piece of graphite in my leg.
Harlan's
I
like
stabbed my brother behind the ear with a pencil, and he's still got a piece of graphite.
behind his ear.
See?
Yeah, well, I was aiming for his face, but he turned his head.
And Alex just pushed me down the stairs. Every good sibling has graphite in their leg
That's right, or ear.
or ear.
Yep, that sounds about right.
All right, let's get back to this.
Does your brother have graphite in him somewhere?
You know what? We never fought with pencils. We used our fists.
We use
What the fuck
pens.
is wrong with you?
I still got ink in my leg.
We're like, we don't want to be like all those other kids with graphite in them. Let's just
Oh,
stick to.
man.
Good old.
There are a lot of very good ideas about how we could be on a sports team. Parkour, Invictus hurling,
Invictus
Michael.
curling.
Johnny Ray
Michael posted
Reagan.
that parkour video.
Invictus wife carrying obstacle course, which I really like.
Synchronized
I can't
drinking.
participate.
Mini golf, very good.
Mini golf.
I'm
I'd be down
horrible
for
at
that.
golf.
I've never played. Stupid headphones stopped working in the middle of this story.
Never played that
Never
either.
played that game. But you know what? I like it, Andrew. Yeah, sure. We'll try it.
Yeah.
Alex
I
tried
know.
to kill Harlan.
Oh.
He tries to kill Harlan constantly. He just hasn't succeeded yet. I'm still here, bitch.
I mean, yeah.
Remember when you
He's
poisoned
working
me?
on it. He's got a plan, but it'll take 80 years.
Natural causes.
Wait long enough.
He's succumbed to his age.
I know exactly what to do.
So,
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Joe's bored. Let's go back to the chapters of the Undefeated.
it is coming up on dinner time when we finish saying our goodbyes in town. What would you like to do?
Probably stay the night then.
No.
Yeah?
we've got several hours of daylight, and there's something about the wilderness. I would like to be out in it tonight. Let's take a vote. I vote that we leave tonight. We can make good headway, and we'll be ready to go in the morning.
Well, I still think it's important to speak to a guard and track down or at least find out if we know where those shipments of gold were heading. I doubt they were heading to the capital.
The mayor told us that they at least passed through the next town on the way, Sallisaw.
Right.
Right, so we could find out there, or, well, if we're going to the capital, then we're going to find out whether or not they got the shipment or not.
Well, I'm almost positive we'll get to the capital and say nope, and then we'll have to come all the way back to ask the guard if he knows anything. So why don't we just before nightfall, let's
some crazy adventure.
Let's head speaking to the guard at the very least. My guess is he's going to say, "I don't know, I was charmed," or something like that. But at the very least,
sounds right. Either that, or we go to Sallisaw and we ask around.
Well, let's do one and then
Fine.
the other.
We'll do what Harlan.
It doesn't benefit us to go to Sallisaw and then ask him.
Well, you guys do that. You're capable on your own. I got to say thank you for the spear. It's absolutely beautiful, and I didn't really have the words, so I'm going to go back to the blacksmith and just express my thanks. We don't need to roleplay it.
And we don't have to roleplay the guard either. I'm assuming he probably doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and then we all meet up at the edge of town.
All right.
And now it's probably 3 hours to sundown, eh?
Yeah, about that. Yeah. It's still early spring, so maybe a little bit closer even.
Are you sure you want to head out at evening?
I surely do. Something about hiking under the starlight.
Well, if I'm completely honest with you, I think that we should at least sleep one night and regain some of our strength.
That's sort of where I'm at. I have 0 spells.
I passed out in that combat, and when I woke up, I had less health and was injured.
Oh yeah, you have a decreased maximum hit points.
I'm at 13. I took 7 points of damage.
Yeah, let's just nap one more night with Marguerite.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Since
Tados is convinced. And this gives Tados the chance to lie awake with his roommates, tell them about his headaches.
Hey, yeah.
It started when I was about 27 years old. I was mixing potions, as I often did. My family was in alchemy. I don't know if you knew that or not. I was mixing potions, and after trying again to mix the correct potion in order to change my appearance forever, it didn't work. I continued to look like the tiefling that I do. It gave me these headaches, but the strange thing is, these headaches, they seem to give me glimpses of potentially futuristic happenings. You see, I will have these glimpses, and then in the future, none, or all of the things I dream of come true. This is both a very great weight on my shoulders, as well as it is also very handy at times. The other night, I passed out. I had a dream. There was a gray sky, wreathed with dark clouds, and 1,000 lightning bolts seemingly fighting each other. I don't know what that means. But then a mountain grew from the sea, and it was impossibly huge, and a tsunami came screaming after its wake, and the cap of the mountain had exploded, and flames and smoke spewed out of it, and I could smell brimstone. It often happens with these dreams. I'm truly there, and that's how I realized they weren't just dreams. Shortly after that, there was an emerald dew-studded tree. It was a fern, and it shuddered, then curled up in itself, like a spider pulling up its legs, almost like when you burn dry leaves or plastic, whatever that may be. And then lastly, it was a blue snake that ate itself.
So
I'm not sure what it all means, but I think we should keep an eye out for these things.
Yes. I
a
agree.
mountain rising out of the sea, a tree burning with legs like spiders,
No.
and
Lightning bolts?
lightning bolts.
1,000 lightning bolts.
Thousand.
It wasn't a spider, but rather it was a tree.
A tree
Yes.
with branches that were going up like.
Not so much a tree, more of a fern. A small fern
Ooh, I
tree.
see.
And
Right, like a bush.
when anything like green gets hot, it curls like a spider who dies. Its legs
like
curl.
like a fiddle plant.
Yes, as
Aye.
it curls in, pulling its legs up into its body. These are all images that come to me. I cannot tell you why. Perhaps it was that piece of meteorite I found in the potion. But that's neither here nor there. Doesn't really matter. The blue snake that eats itself, it's imprinted on my mind.
I looked to Graham with a concerned expression.
Meteorite and potion. What do you mean?
Disregard the meteorite. That's simply. You see, when I was younger, when I was mixing the potions, I have a feeling that a meteorite, it fell into my potion, and that's why I am receiving these dreams. But I can't prove it. All I have is this meteorite piece, and I pull out a small piece of meteorite.
And I snatch it.
And I. No!
What does it look like?
It's just a little stone, but when
Could
you
you
hold it
imagine?
to light.
How do you know it's a meteorite?
Well, when I don't.
Oh,
I don't. But I heard a plunk, and there's nobody around. And when I turn around my potion, it splashed. And,
stone soup.
yeah. And when I
Aw.
hold it up to light, there are little. It's almost like rectangular, and there's a light that can pass through certain areas of it. So it's not like any stone I've seen here on Earth. So I put two and two together.
So you attained that stone, and then you started having these dreams.
Yes, it was. It was only after that stone appeared in my potion. I believe the stone fell from the sky, for I was mixing my potion at home in our tiefling cavern, when suddenly I had my back turned and I heard a loud booming sound and a plunk right there in my potion.
And was there a hole in the ceiling?
No, there was no hole in the ceiling because the ceiling was already open. The cavern we would do our potions in was large and open to the air, you see. Easy enough for anything to fall in, and it certainly wasn't a stone from that area where we made potions, so.
Tados, your homeland sounds so exotic. I would love to see it one day.
That makes
Perhaps
two.
at some point I will take you.
So we end up, where are we going to be sleeping tonight?
Probably Marguerite's one last time.
Yeah, so we go back to her place and like,
We're
"Sorry."
back!
She's like,
Can we sleep on your floor again?
She's like, has a male
yeah.
visitor over.
You know when I said to share that leg of lamb? Yes, I was considering you sharing it with us.
Because we're your friends.
Yes.
So that's when we're all at Marguerite's when Tados is
Yeah.
telling
Yeah,
us
drinking
before we
tea
fall asleep.
and falling asleep.
Cool. So spellcasters, if you want to choose your spells for today.
Spellcasters, choose your spells.
Yeah.
Quintus is
I
going
don't
to
believe-
polish his spear.
I don't believe I need to prepare spells.
I don't think you do either, but I think, as I mentioned to you before,
I think that's why I was getting
sorcerers
confused.
are my least familiar spellcaster.
I'm going to look it up right now. You guys continue.
Yeah, that sounds great. So actually, I'm just gonna keep the same ones from yesterday. Maybe I'll take. Oh man, maybe I'll take Unseen Servant so that it can carry all of our stuff. No, I'm just.
Oh yeah, just before I go to bed, I'm going to look through those books that I took off of, and any papers. Just sort of glance at them. Is there anything relevant?
The books that you took off of the bookshelf are history of Duluth County.
Hmm.
And what else? There's like a manual about like, I don't know, the theory of a specific style of fighting, maybe.
Nice.
Maybe like a war, what is it called?
Art of War.
Thank you, Chinese. Yeah, Art of War
Something.
style. Like, this dude was the captain of the guards. These were his books. And
Yeah.
then the ones that were pawed through are the ones that obviously the succubus was most interested in.
History of Duluth, fighting. What's the third one?
It's like the Art of War. It's like kind of like,
Just like military combat tactics. And
yeah. It's almost like power dynamics in terms of combat.
Perfect.
and how it applies to business.
And none of the pieces of paper that I grabbed or anything of substance.
Yeah, they're all old. The ones that have dates on them are like 3 years old.
Perfect. I'll look at them later.
Cool.
Cool. And maybe I read a little bit of the history of Duluth before heading to bed.
Aw.
What game was it, Harlan, where you like got some books?
It was
and it became so useful.
Numenera.
Was Numenera?
Yeah, because it was Chris's campaign, where I played the Eddie the fish person.
Right. Yes.
Because he was because I was like, can I pick any books? He's like, just pick 3 books. I was like, ha! I was like, edible plants of this universe, and it was like, and like all 3 were like so specific to like helping us. It was so good. That's why I'm big on the books, because like History of Duluth, absolutely, I'm gonna be reading and using. I'm gonna like.
That's great.
Because that's like a useful fucking book in this world.
For sure.
All right, then I go to bed.
Sweet.
So we head out first thing in the morning. I presume we are heading north along the road that Mayor Leslie directed us towards.
Yes.
As we pass through the town square, we notice that a couple of guards are pulling down the
Hanging.
The gallows.
the
Gallows?
gallows. Thank you.
Woohoo! In the morning before we leave, I did want to speak to the sprites and just ask them if they do search the woods north to see if they do find anything relevant to the gold and all what we're talking about. I just explained to them everything that we're looking for. Just
Yeah, a couple of them who aren't busy today fly out ahead of the party.
perfect. Sorry, just wanted to do that.
Yeah. So we are on the road towards the capital.
On the road again.
On the road again. Now
Just can't wait to get on the road again. Brothers or what? Fuck.
Yeah. Bros. And it's an uneventful day, mostly.
And as
Well,
we're
actually-
walking, I see Quintus sort of spinning his spear, and I remember him walking out with such a brash intent. I remember him first walking into the bar with such brashness, to almost, in my mind, disrespect the Undefeated. And yet, by the end of our encounter, he walked towards the mayor with such a brashness that saved that encounter, because I probably would have tried to hide. And Graham has this newfound respect for Quintus and realizes that maybe his youth isn't completely, a negative as Graham might have originally seen it, and maybe Graham can learn something from him as well. And as he sees him spinning his spear, he sort of says, a weapon like that deserves a name. Have you thought of what name you might give it?
And Quintus, who'd kind of been lost in thought or a daydream, turns to Graham, and a smirk forms on his face, and he says, "Not until you mentioned that, but I've got a name.
Huh?
Drew Allen.
Drew Allen.
Drew Allen. Aye, it was the name of my former tutor. He taught me everything I know about fighting, and I figure a spear, nice spear like this, like you say, well, it'd be a great honor to be named after him."
Drew Allen. I like it.
too think it's a great name.
And using my thaumaturgy, I call out in the woods with a great booming voice. He names it Druala, 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 Druala.
Aye! And I stand and I hold it up in the air.
Like 45 birds take to the sky.
Yeah.
I'm fist pumping the spear in the air. Whew. Aye. Thank you, Tados. Thank you, Gam.
Oh.
Can't wait to actually put this to use.
'Tis an exciting time for us. Challenge 1 complete. Check mark. On to greater and bigger things. To Sallisaw.
And I
Let's
hang
see
back
what
a
they
bit,
do
and I
there.
speak with Leah as the two are. And what's Leah doing as we're walking?
Leah is doing some finger weaving, I guess. She's got some twine in her hands, and she's like weaving it together as she walks, kind of almost distractedly, like this is something that she can do in her sleep. She is turning some small pieces of almost thread-like, like hempen jute or something, into a serviceable rope as she's walking.
And Graham's sort of hesitant at first, sort of hangs back to her and sort of says, "It was quite a sight to see that creature take to the air before us, wouldn't you say?"
The succubus, you mean?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, her wings were pretty little. I was kind of surprised that she could fly at all, but I don't know very much about that kind of thing, I guess.
Neither
Have
do
you
I.
ever seen a demon before?
And he sort of looks, Graham sort of looks nervously towards Quintus and Tados, and they're out of earshot, and he sort of says, "The truth is, Leah, I'm a well-traveled man. I've lived a long life, but I'm still unaware of so much that this world offers, and despite my age, I fear that I don't have much to offer this small group of travelers, this chapter of the Undefeated, as it were. And I think a bit of that came across as a arrogance to understanding these things, when the truth is I don't, and I'm nervous."
Do you really think so, though, Graham? I mean, not to be rude or anything, but you're the oldest one here. Like, you probably have lots of life experience that, if you think back hard enough, you can get a lot of use out of, right? Like, have you been in the clergy all your life?
Leah, my life experience amounts to many years tending soil and growing crops in a peaceful farm. The clergy took up a lot of my life, but its pillars are built on mercy and things that even now I question. The truth is, I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have spending 30, 40 years under Alistair's light. Makes me think.
Really?
Well, it's easy to understand the world in books, but it's different when you're out experiencing it. I think each of us has felt that now.
Of course.
And Graham sort of swallows and turns towards the woods, but with sort of a bit of a happiness, and turns back towards her and sort of nods, and then catches up to kind of be in between the group.
Cool. So the rest of the day passes pretty uneventfully.
Oh.
And as we are getting ready to sort of bed down for the night, people are unrolling bedrolls and gathering firewood and doing all of those kind of standard domestic tasks. Tados, when you are asked to make camp, what is your go-to chore? I feel like everyone has got it pretty much nailed down at this point.
Glad you asked me that.
Yeah. What does Tados do?
It's so funny because I was just thinking, after placing down my bedroll and gathering a few twigs, I noticed the other arrows are gathering twigs. I figure food. So using my horns, I go and I start uprooting roots of various plants and vegetables, and there are many like roots, ferns, and even dandelion roots that can all be combined. They've got great protein, lots of nutrients, and so I brush them all off after I've dug up a handful of roots, and I plunk them into some hot water, and offer the others some root tea. Anyone? Root tea.
That's fucking awesome. And you have like a little clod of dirt on the one.
Yeah, on my one, and it's clearly like, after you guys see me do this, it's clear that I always use my one horn to dig up roots, and it's never the other horn. This one's pristine. This one's a little bit jagged and used and worn.
Thanks, Tados. I always love your root tea.
Yes, I've had it since I was young.
Do you always dig with your horns? Ever think about using your hands?
Or shovel.
Oh!
Or a shovel. Aye.
We have two.
You see, this goes way back in our heritage. My family would always dig up roots with our horns. I mentioned earlier, we have always been alchemists, whether it be roots or certain other minerals from the ground. Our horns are used. Very handy. So no, I've used a shovel before, simply not as effective.
After she has a draught of this very delicious and reviving root tea, Leah gets her scimitar out, and she is practicing sword forms while there's still a little bit of light left.
Oh, cool.
In the forest.
And just so you know, after everybody drinks the tea itself, I hand out, I split up the actual roots, and now they're cooked enough to eat.
You're a guy who's pretty into root vegetables.
Absolutely.
And as Leah practices with her scimitar, Graham sort of takes his tea and sort of leans against a tree and sits down on the mossy ground and sort of watches her as she makes her moves.
Yeah, she's like cutting through the air. Yeah.
And he sort of just studies her with a bit of sort of a half smile, like a bit of a knowing smile. He sort of cups his root tea and watches her kind of move around and make her little yelps. And after she sort of juts at a tree a little bit, Graham sort of makes a bit of a scoff, a kind scoff.
She's like, you think you could do any better? This is hard work. Quintus, I don't know how you do it all day long fighting like this. Whew.
Practice, practice, practice. And one hell of a teacher. Not two. And he takes out a bottle of wine and starts pouring it into his hands. Wineskin?
Hands. Cool.
But you're doing great, Leah.
Thanks.
Really.
Well, I mean, I learned the basics when we were in training camp, so I thought, there's a specific kind of arcane magics where you can combine spell casting with hand-to-hand combat, and I thought it'd be so cool to just combine the two of them, and I don't really know what I'm doing yet, but man, the booming blade, I didn't get to do that one yet, but she shows you guys boom, it's a cantrip. She strikes a tree with her scimitar, and it's surrounded by this globe of blue light, and she's like,
wow.
See, if that tree tried to move in the next 6 seconds, it would take damage. But it's a tree, so it's not going anywhere.
Well, try it on me.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Why not?
We can. Sure? You're gonna get hurt, Quintus.
Is it going to hurt me?
Yeah.
I too believe this is not a good idea.
Well, maybe you're right. I'm just curious. I don't know how it works. I guess magic.
That's right. I mean, I guess you'll just wait until I do it on someone who's
Quintus,
threatening us.
Perhaps you'll spar with me. Please show me a few things, will you?
And I pull out my bone quarterstaff.
Well, as much as you, I would love to spar with you. I think you might be right. And I've got a gash on my side from where I think it was
Well, you slept it off, didn't you?
So when
we slept it off. Oh, this
Just
is
be a scar.
the next day.
Yeah, you recover all of your expendables.
You had a gash one night,
Right.
and now it's a scar.
He's that
People in
badass.
D&D 5th
It's only
edition
a scrap.
heal very, very quickly.
Yeah,
In that case,
also-
then, I'll spar with you. Sure.
Please show me what you know.
All right.
And Leah sits down beside Graham, like wipe the little sweat off.
And as she sits down next to me and they sort of go over to spar, I sort of...
Well, before you get into that, I wanted to set the setting because there's a nice little fire going. And on one side of the fire, Tados and Quintus kind of do their sparring in the flickering light, and then on this side of the fire are you two that sit. So continue. Sorry.
And as they're sort of moving, Graham sort of leans to her and says, "Do you see the way Tados moves his feet to dodge between Quintus's strikes?"
Yeah, he's not bad, hey?
And then Graham sort of sits back and puts his cup down and stands up and walks to sort of an empty area a bit away from the fire and says, "Come, I want to show you something."
All right. Do I need my blade?
No. And Graham sort of takes a second, and he's hesitant at first, like he's holding back something. Within that 30 years, there's many things I've done. And Leah, I've noticed that you're very light on your feet. It gives you an advantage that not many people, Quintus, myself, Tados, we can't have as well as you can.
I'm literally a Lightfoot halfling.
And being able to sneak up upon your opponent, being quiet and deft, will give you an advantage that no one else can match. I'm going to turn my back to you. And Graham sort of does it and continues talking to the knight and says, "In my right pocket, I keep my pendant. I want you to try to take it out of my pocket without me noticing."
Ooh, this is a fun game. Should we roll a skill contest?
Yeah, sure.
You will be rolling, I guess, perception against my sleight of hand. And I'm
Okay.
going to roll this in the open for everyone. So
Yeah.
I have a +3 to my sleight of hand.
And I just have a passive perception of 20.
For some reason, actually, on this computer, INVICTUS is not working for me.
That's fine. You can roll it in your die.
Yeah, I'll
We
just
trust
roll
you.
test. That's a 6.
Okay. So as Graham stands there, I feel your little hand in my pocket, and he snatches it before you can pull it back. In a soft way, and he turns around, and I kind of bend down to your level, and I say, "Try again, but this time, use the movement of the tree." And he sort of gives you sort of like an unnamed tip, like something like that. And this time, can I give you advantage against me or something like that? Like, I want it to be something that maybe...
You say that I succeed.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want you to succeed this time.
So I do. And like a minute goes by and you're like, "Did you try yet?" And he's like,
We're role-playing each other. Yeah, but yeah, Graham just stands there and says, "You have to try to take it from my pocket." As I hear the tingling of it in your open hand, and he turns around. And with the firelight behind you, he smiles and says, "I think you have within you the power to make yourself a quite powerful rogue, if you should ever decide to." And he holds his hand out for his pendant back.
"Maybe I will." And she puts the pendant back in Graham's open hand. Tados and Quintus, do the two of you learn anything while you're sparring, or you just
I would
get
like
exhausted?
to say yes, but
Definitely. So I definitely notice Tados's footwork, and I say, "That's very fine, fancy footwork." And I stop, panting a little bit. But what would happen if I actually did hit you?
What do you mean? What would happen if you actually did hit me? What do you mean by that?
My old master, he was a dwarf. And the dwarves, they are known for their constitution and their
Very
ability.
tough creatures. Absolutely.
Exactly. You know,
Yes.
you've lived with dwarves before, haven't you?
Yes, deep within the mountains, yes.
Well, he taught me one thing. He taught me the old 1-3. Have you ever heard of it?
The 1-3. No,
Old one 3, that's right. Aye.
I've only heard
Alright.
of the old one too.
All right, well, let me show you. The 1 3. So, you punch me. Punch me right now. Right in the face.
Punch
Right in the
you?
face. Aye.
I don't think I can do that, Quintus.
You can do it. Just give me a punch, all right?
I don't think I have it in me to really.
Come on, Quint. Come on, Tados. Just come on. Give me one.
Oh, all right, and I give it like a half-ass punch. towards your
And
face.
1d4 non-lethal damage. Just kidding.
all right, that was okay. Now, that's the 1. All right, so that 1 is for you.
Oh,
Now, the old 1 3 requires a 1 and a 3 from you. Now the 2, that's for me, and I punch him in the face.
oh,
And I don't really hold back.
oh, and, oh, that's oh, and the 3 comes here, and that's when I use my left and I clock him right in the chin.
Uppercut.
And I can hear my jaw just crack together, and I nod back, rubbing it a little bit. I say, "Aye, you've got it now. That's exactly it. You can't expect yourself never to get hit. It's gonna happen, whether you like it or not. The true battlers, the true dwarven warriors, they didn't know how to dodge out of the... Well, they knew how to dodge out of the way, but they weren't experts at dodging. They were experts at taking hits and still coming back with that 3.
Oh.
So, if you're ever in trouble, remember the old 1 3.
This is very good. Thank you, Quintus. As I've learned so much from you. If there's anything I can teach you, I certainly will. Have I taught you the craft of making root tea?
I can't say that you have.
You know
But,
what? Maybe I will teach you something a little bit more,
He doesn't have
with a bit
horns.
more pizzazz.
Right, I'm up for pizzazz, and I sit down on a log and watch.
And Tados goes digging through the dirt a little bit more, and he pulls up a piece of flint from the ground of the forest there, and pulls out his sword, his small dagger, and he says, "Look, with only one strike of this rock, you can create," and sparks fly all over. Have you seen this before?
Creating fire.
That's right.
Well, I can't say I've actually done it before, but I've seen other people do it.
If you know the rocks to look for, you can make the fire.
And I flick the rock towards him.
Oh, so this is a particular type of rock.
Absolutely. Keep following. I will certainly find some more things to give you, but just for now, that's a beginner's intro. Use your steel against it. You will find sparks. You can create fire.
All right. And Quintus is actually, he's a little surprised because he's seen people make fires before, but he's always had servants to make fires for him. So actually having a stone that he can create it himself, he's kind of like, oh, I never would have thought it, but
The first
this is
step,
amazing.
the first step to all alchemy is to create a fire to create your boiling liquids. Anyways,
Aye. All right.
I believe it's getting dark,
And I look around, and there's no sound from out in the wilderness.
I'm going to go to sleep now. Good night. Good night, Leah. Good night, girl.
Are we
Graham
gonna
pulls out his lighter and just goes, "I'll stick with
Yeah.
this." It's a little easier.
No, wait for me. Wait for it.
45 minutes later. Shing.
35 minutes later.
Are we gonna keep watch tonight? Are we just all gonna have a little kip?
I'm sleeping. I've already gone to sleep.
Yeah.
thought
Good
about
night.
it.
I'll keep watch.
Yeah,
Breakfast.
well, Quintus and I can
Well, at least.
bounce back and forth.
Do I need to sleep as a half elf? I do not remember.
That's a good question. As
I'll look
a
it up.
half elf, I think you do. I think you gain dark vision and you have the Fey ancestry trait, but I don't think that you have the like a meditation instead of sleeping thing. I think that's just for full elves. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, we don't get trance state.
Yeah, trance.
Between you and I, we'll pass it off. Quintus.
Okay. So I'm going to roll something secret.
Oh no.
So Graham, it is on your watch that you hear. It's the middle of the night, pretty much. And you, with your passive perception, hear the sounds of stealthy footsteps making their way towards the camp.
Multiple sets or single set?
Yeah. Multiple sets.
Did you say that again? I missed that. Sorry.
With Graham's excellent passive perception and on his watch in the middle of the night, he detects the sound of multiple sets of stealthy footprints making their way towards us from different directions in the woods. Nope,
from different directions?
Yes.
Okay. I tap everyone awake very quickly.
Okay. As far as donning armor, that is tricky for people who rely on armor. It takes a minute or two to get into. I'm not sure that we necessarily have the timing to do that before we are set upon. Are we going to jump into armor for those of us who wear it, or are you guys just going to get your weapons together and jump
Not
in?
me.
I'll just grab my weapon.
All right.
But I do, as Graham taps me, I do turn to him and say,
Doth I bring up lights?
No. And in fact, I throw a blanket on the fire, so we're dark. It's still dark, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's very dark.
Yeah, so I toss a blanket, douse the fire dead.
And so we have just a few moments to get ready. Everyone's in their jammies, basically.
I'm not.
I don't.
I wasn't sleeping.
So you, Harlan, Graham had his armor still on?
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, I think he probably would have been on like more patrol. And they're coming from every direction, eh?
Yes.
Damn. Okay. Yep. And I tell us to back into around the dead now fire, and all the backs of us are touching.
Yeah. So who has dark vision?
I do.
I do not.
I do not.
Harlan, Graham does not have dark vision.
What's your dark vision there, Justin?
60 feet, I believe.
Yes.
60 feet. Same as me. So you and I can pretty much see fine.
Yeah, as if it was just dim light. So Tados and Quintus see, as we are all, I imagine, kind of back to back to back around the fire, watching with wary eyes the dark woodlands. The two of you see the figures of 3 creatures slowly resolving as they move in through the trees towards us.
Based on size, what do I realize is coming?
They are humanoids. They appear to be half-orcs, and they all have weapons drawn. Everyone roll initiative.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say when I woke everyone up though, I wanted to bless them. Because does that have to be in initiative or out of initiative?
We can do that out of initiative. We had a couple minutes because you have such a high passive perception that you had a sec to wake everyone up, and
that's why
you were not surprised.
I was just about to say that's specifically why I did say touch, because I wanted to do that. I just didn't want to ruin the flow.
So we all get to add 1d4 to our d20 rolls for the next little bit. I think
but
you
not
can
initiative.
Do that to how many?
No.
Can you do that to
up to 3
creatures?
creatures. Yep.
So is that?
Yeah. Whenever you make an attack roll or a saving throw before my spell ends, you add 1d4 to the attack or saving throw.
What was your question, Alex?
Not initiative.
Not initiative. No.
Not initiative. No.
No.
I didn't think
saving
so.
throws.
Attack roll or saving throw, not skill check.
Yeah, I asked before that. So attack or saving.
What do we add to our initiative again?
Your dex.
Right.
I wish you had battle music.
I just watched Wonder Woman the other day.
Oh, nice.
Story, so good. I really liked it.
Is it?
But
I haven't seen it yet.
That epic guitar music when she gets super badass. Oh, it's so good.
What did everyone get for your
19.
initiatives? 19 for
21.
Graham. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, a really high 3.
So like the higher end, not like the lower end.
but I would
higher
like to
than a
mention, but I would like to whisper what I see, if that's possible.
Yeah, you can say like
3. They look like half orcs.
I whisper under my breath to Leah and Graham.
All weapons are drawn. Be prepared for combat.
I can't do anything in this light. Quintus, it's your turn. You are up. So let's imagine a clock for everyone. So we're going to go in order of initiative. At the 12 o'clock spot, we have Quintus. Graham, you're at 3 o'clock. Leah is at 6 o'clock. And Tados, you are at 9 o'clock. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just in terms of your positions right now, orientation, if we're looking down on the campground that we have. There is a half orc right now, and they're all about 30 feet away from us or so. There's a half orc at 12 o'clock, 30 feet away from Quintus. There's a half orc at like 4 o'clock ish, and then there's a half orc at like 8 o'clock ish. So they're kind of spread out, if that makes sense.
It definitely
What
does.
spells did you prepare for today, Harlan?
Bless.
They would have been the ones that you had prepared this morning.
That's what I mean. Like, what had you had
Yeah,
prepared?
bless, cure wounds, guiding bolt. I kept the same ones from the fight with the.
Ah, okay. Good to know.
So you say they're 30 feet away?
Yeah, that's right. And closing. I mean, it's not their turn right now, but they're moving towards us.
Yeah, I have
I'm
thunder
going to take one step back so that they're 31 feet away. And I'm going to use my crossbow, which I was able to grab from the side of my bed because I keep it there anyway.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm going to fire it
Do it.
at the one closest to me, the one that's 30 feet away
We'll
from
say
me.
that's bandit number 1.
Bandit number 1.
Yeah,
Close
he's
to
got a
Quintus.
cool mohawk.
Ooh, and I rolled a 3, so I did not succeed.
Yeah, the bolt fires wide into the woods.
Right.
Graham, it's your turn. You don't know where anyone is.
No, if I'm casting a cantrip, is it a minor action or a major action or what?
No difference. There is only actions.
Only
I mean,
action.
there's a bonus action, but that would be thusly described.
Okay, so like putting light
Most. What does your spell say in terms of what the fuck is it called?
There's got to be a cantrip.
At the very top, it says like the components that are used, the range, the duration.
on for a cantrip.
It should say like for all spells. It should say
Yeah.
action.
I just wanted
Or
to do light.
bonus
I was just
action,
trying to
or-
think of light. Do you know if light? I can
Yeah.
check it.
So you need to know your spells.
but- Hey, I gotta look it up. I just didn't know if it was whatever.
All
Okay,
the
that's
spells
fine.
in D&D.
Can I? Is it possible
Believe it's an
to
action.
defer until a certain point?
You can delay your turn essentially and
Yeah.
jump in wherever you like.
Well, I was
But that will
thinking.
permanently move your slot back.
Right. Okay. Okay. Never mind then. Then I guess I will. I can't see them, eh?
That's right. You are a human.
Damn my human eyes.
You only heard them moving through the brush.
Yeah. Okay. So then I guess I will just have to cast light.
Great. What are you casting it on?
I will cast it on my blade, I guess.
Perfect. So you call down the divine light, and it. You have a blade?
Yeah, I have like a dagger.
Nice. Okay, so Graham calls down light, and we have light. There is light, and it is great.
Damn.
You also have a movement if you choose to move, but you don't have to.
No, I guess I won't.
Cool. It is Leah's turn. So, as a bonus action, she activates her blade song with a little ditty that sounds kind of like a yodel that I'm not going to reproduce just now because I haven't figured out exactly what it sounds like yet, but I'm working on it. And then she is going to run out to a bandit. She's gonna run out towards bandit number 2. That's the one at 4 o'clock.
Leah, you brave one.
Yeah.
Badass.
And
Dangerous.
she attacks him. She's like, these fuckers look like bandits. And she hits with a 19.
Ow.
And she's going to deal.
She can't even
1d6.
see in the dark.
Well, Graham casts light.
Oh, on his blade though.
Yeah, it casts light in like a, what's the
Radius.
yeah, what's the radius, Harlan? Is it 30 feet?
I'm just saying it's impressive that she hit a
It
19.
says no larger than 10 feet until the spell ends. Bright light in a 20-foot radius, so they'd be in darkness.
And then dim light.
Oh, then dim light for an additional 20 feet. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So she deals 6 damage to the first bandit, and he cusses at her and growls. It is the bandit's turn. B1, B2, B3. Bandit 1 is going to pull out his crossbow and fire at Quintus, because Quintus just fired at him, and so that's what happens. For a 9, which misses, and then he's going to advance about 20 feet. So he's standing 10 feet in front of you, Quintus.
Perfect.
Bandit number 2 is going to draw his scimitar back and try to hack Leah to pieces, and he crit fails.
Oh.
And then Bandit 3 is going to run up on Tados, the 30 feet, and try to get him with
Gonna
his
one up on me.
scimitar. Run up. He's gonna run up at you.
Oh, run up. I'm sorry.
He
How the
crits
fuck
you.
He's gonna one up me.
He criticaled you.
He criticaled me.
I rolled a nat
You went from
20.
You
Oh,
you
not
think,
one to
you
not
really
20.
think so? You think he
Yeah.
criticaled me? Oh, really? Okay. Well, how about this? Huh?
That's
What do I roll? What do I roll? Defense?
You don't roll
Ooh.
anything. It's against
How about
your AC.
Yeah. Well, even if I could, I would have rolled a natural 20 there.
You
but-
take 8 damage.
Damn.
He slashes your arm pretty bad.
Ah! You son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch.
Tados, it's
Give me
your
the
turn. You just got slashed.
And of course, now I've rolled my fucking 20, so I'm gonna roll again. I'm gonna like a 2. I turn around, call him a son of a bitch, and cast Shocking Grasp
Yeah, do
on
it.
him.
hmm
Fucking hell. Well, a 15.
Against his AC hits him.
Excellent.
Yes.
I grab his arm, and
Yeah.
I send. Now, I actually don't know what this does because it's just a 1d8. So that will be 4 damage.
Nicely done.
I grab his arm and then like, son of a bitch! Psst.
He's like, and he bites his tongue.
Excellent.
And he pees a little bit.
Yeah, like what's a 4? Can you tell me what his total hit points are, or is that
Nope,
illegal?
absolutely not.
Okay.
So, the way things are looking right now, we have Quintus, Graham, and Tados with their backs to the fire. Leah is 30 feet out in the bush. There is a dude at 12 o'clock who is 10 feet away from Quintus. And there is a dude who is right up on Tados who is engaging in deadly melee. Quintus, it is your turn.
All right. I am going to charge forward toward the half-orc that is attacking Leah.
Great. Okay. So you run out towards number 2. He's got like a big nose ring.
And what is he, 31 feet away from me?
He's like 30. He's 30 feet away from the fire. Or so.
Oh, from the fire, not me.
Yeah.
Okay, it doesn't matter. We were getting into semantics or whatever.
You get there.
Yeah, I get there and I thrust my spear over top of Leah's head
Nice.
and try to skewer the dude.
Make an attack roll.
Let's do this.
He
And
sees
this
you
is.
coming, and he's like,
I just ignore the one that ran at me. And let's see. Oh, it's a 6 plus. Oh, and I get to roll a 1d4, right?
"Oh fuck! I've been forgetting about that."
So
Yes.
6
Oh,
plus
fuck, me too.
and the 4. Oh, that's a natural 20, but no, that's a 2. So 8 plus
You might hit him still. What's your strength?
plus 6, because this spear is
Oh yeah,
plus 6.
yeah. You hit that boy.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, boy.
All right, so then for damage, I get +1 to damage and attack on my spear, right?
That's correct. Yes, yes, yes.
Sweet. So I do 1d6 plus 6. So 11.
Holy shit, eh?
Jesus, what
You
does it look
slice
like
off
when you
his head?
stab him to death?
Oh yeah. All right. So I
How
run
much damage
over
did you do?
and I-
Sorry?
What's that?
How much damage did you do?
11.
Nice.
So I run forward. I thrust my spear out. It goes over Leah's head, and I skewer him right in the heart. And he gasps and spits out some blood.
Then Leah's
And
like, ugh, wipes it
just
off of
for-
her face.
Good measure. I grab onto the steel end. It's exactly as Tados described. It's like mostly steel.
3/4.
And
You know?
I pick it up, and I pick him up, and I slam him over on the other side of me.
Fuck yeah.
Like a...
And
Nice.
Tados turns in the middle of this and he goes, "Ah, Quintus, that's like your 1 and 3 right there."
Throwback.
I suppose so.
No 2.
Graham, you see from the corner of your eye as Quintus rushes past you that he's skewered and then horrifically abused this body.
Oof.
There is a man about 10 feet away from you, and then there's a man at your back menacing Tados.
I'm gonna kill the one 10 feet away from me first.
You're going to try.
No, I'm gonna cast Thunder Wave on him.
Great.
So he has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Well, let me see how that works out. He's got a +1 to his con. That's 12.
Does he succeed?
What is your spellcasting ability
Oh,
for?
13.
So he fails,
My
yes?
spell saves DC is 13. Okay. I don't know. I'm sorry. I
There you
still
go.
don't know it. Okay, so he takes...
You have 2 fucking numbers.
Hey, man. So he takes 2d8
You're doing great.
thunder damage, and he's pushed 10
Roll that
feet.
damage.
Well, but because I have Divinity Domain, I can do maximum damage instead of rolling for any thunder damage. So that's 16.
Hey.
Wow.
So
He's dead.
that's what I was planning on. So
I figured you were doing some math, and you're like, what?
You just blew him to bits.
So so
and all of his debris are scattered 10 feet.
yeah, basically everything, and that's sort of how it goes. I see from the corner of my eye what Quintus does, and I turn back, almost happy that no one else has seen. And without moving my hands too much, my eyes just turn to slits as the orc is sort of stopped 10 feet from me, and I go, and in like an instant, it's almost silent before his entire body is just obliterated into a sea of spinning leaves and fucking broken branches, and he's just there in a second and then completely gone, and just 2 flat tracks of dirt where his feet were standing. And almost without moving, Graham sort of like swallows it down and hides an excited smile as he turns and tries to move away from the one that's at Tados.
Thunder Wave is a very, very loud spell.
Yes.
After. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
It's
like
like an audible 300 feet, it says. It's like everywhere.
A second after that happens, you hear the howl of a wolf in the distance. Oh!
Fuck that wolf. I'll thunder wave him. I'll thunder wave them all!
It's Leah's turn. She turns around and, as a free action, gives Quintus a high five. Yes!
Reaction.
And then she turns her attention towards the bandit that's menacing Tados. She casts Firebolt as a cantrip. Fucking yeah, she gets it. It's
Nice.
a D10. She deals 1 damage to him.
Sorry, what did you roll? Not that
Fireball?
I doubt you, but what did you roll?
17 unmodified.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that would have been
Not that I doubt
Yeah,
you.
I think
Again, I'm not doubting. I'm just curious.
a 20 modified.
Okay. Nice.
Okay, so it is the bandit's turn. He's just gonna try to hack you to pieces again.
Me?
Yep.
Totally acceptable.
That
He's not
is a
intimidated that both
15.
of his friends like died instantaneously after trying to
That's
attack.
a 17 to hit you.
So, does that hit me?
Does it hit your AC?
Yes.
So yes, it hits you. That's 6 slashing damage.
Oh my goodness.
How are you doing, Tatters?
Yeah, how are you doing, buddy?
Got 2 hit points.
Okay.
Oh my god, okay. Let's get this guy.
Well,
I'll grab him on the spear
Tados,
and
it's your
hold him in the
turn.
air, and you thunder wave him.
I am going to cast Charm Person. And so I do that.
You have a disadvantage to that if you are currently attacking that person. I believe you do.
Yes, I do.
Not to
something about it for fighting it. I'm
think you have
lost though. You
disadvantage.
attempt to harm a unit. He has to roll a wisdom throw.
He has advantage on the save if
Okay, it may not work though because I rolled an 8, but I didn't roll. So remember 8, but I didn't roll my bless.
So you are casting this.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it 1d6 or d4 that I'm rolling for bless?
4.
Okay, let me just redo that again. 8 plus 3 plus 5
So why are you rolling?
to cast my charm person
You said that the target has to make a save?
of wisdom. Yes.
Yes, so you don't roll anything. It is against
Oh.
your spell save DC, which is 13 probably.
You attempt to harm a humanoid within range, 30 feet. It must make a wisdom saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You do not roll, I roll.
And there's where it says, and does so with advantage if you or your companions are fighting it.
Would you still like to cast this spell?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to roll 2d20. And if I roll, you said wisdom? What is the wisdom on a
Yeah.
bandit? Plus 0. So if either of these is 13 or higher, he's not charmed and you wasted that spell.
Yeah.
All right. I got a 16 and a 7.
Okay.
Yes, so he is uncharmed.
Ah, you son of a bitch. Slice my arm.
Yeah, you are
Again.
slowly bleeding out.
I'm just defending myself from attacks with an axe with my arm.
Yeah.
Ah, because like it's a natural armor. I've just got natural armor over
Oh,
me.
that's
It's
true.
body.
You do have like scaly skin.
Yeah, that's my only armor. I'm not wearing armor.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Like that is my armor.
You can totally dodge depending on your dex. Quintus, before it is your turn, we hear another howl from the woods. Oh, coming from a different direction than the first. And now it is your turn, Quintus.
Alright, and I don't spare a glance at the woods. I am running with my spear immediately towards the orc that is attacking Tados.
Yep,
And I try to skewer him in the back.
let's see it.
I'm going to skewer this dude.
Do it. I dare you.
I'm doing it. I'm doing it. The dude slayer. Ooh. That's a 5. Oh, do I get to bless?
Yeah, add your bless.
Okay, so 5 plus 3
Fuck
plus
yeah.
6.
Cleric.
So that hits.
Nicely done. How much damage do you do? You could murder him right now.
I could murder him right now. I'm going to try. A 6, so that's 12.
Yep, you kill him. Bleh.
So,
Same thing.
Tados.
Is that like your finishing move?
It should be. That's the finishing move on Civilization 6, actually, when like a hoplite goes and kills the enemy. But I'm just going to, from Taros's perspective, you see him stop. He's going in for another attack, and you hear him stop, and he kind of lurches forward a bit, and you just see him lift off the ground a little bit. Blood starting to pour out of his mouth, and then he's thrown to the side, and Quintus is behind him.
Fuck yeah.
Panting heavily.
My savior.
I'm down to 2 hit points.
Are we still in initiative?
We are. Graham, it is your turn.
I still have the ability to make a joke.
My savior. Oh.
You're right, Tados. Tados needs healing. Quick.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I walk over to him and I touch him for cure wounds. My spellcasting ability modifier, is that just my wisdom plus my proficiency?
Yes.
I don't know what spellcasting ability modifier is. Is it the same as my spell attack bonus?
No, spellcasting ability modifier is just your ability
Wisdom?
Modifier. Yeah.
Which would be wisdom. Okay. So it's going to be 1d8 plus 3. 1d8. So Alex, or Tados, I heal you for 9 points.
Nice.
So I kind of put my hands on you, and the fire from Alistair, you can feel the red coming from my hands as I hold them over you, and I sort of shake. And I say, through Alistair's light, let this man be healed, this creature be healed.
So you're giving me 9 points.
9 points.
And I jump to my feet. By the light of Alistair!
Good. Now you pray to him.
God.
Pray.
That makes me
Pray.
feel amazing.
Pray.
Oh, thank you.
Pray harder, boy.
It's Leah's turn. She returns to the doused fire with her companions and casts mage armor on herself. She looks into the woods. I fear that this battle is not over yet. And she wipes her blade on a piece of her cloak that she's wearing.
Don your armor if you haven't already.
Well, it takes about 5 minutes.
Well, I don't know how far the wolves are.
That's true.
Tados, it's your turn.
Okay, so is that
Do anything
so?
specific?
Are there any orcs left?
We do not see any combatants.
Okay, then thaumaturgy. I let out a warning howl.
What does that sound like?
Oh! Using projection and a booming voice, it goes off into the wilderness.
Ooh.
Because maybe you know this or maybe you don't. For those viewers, wolves often howl as a protection of their territory. So, I figure these wolves off in the distance are howling because they think it's their territory. But if I howl back, I might just inspire them to stay back. And this is now my territory. Might work, it might not, but it's worth a try.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like a persuasion roll on animals.
Sort of. And in fact, let's
Or
do
animal
that.
handling roll.
Maybe
animal
can I just roll for that?
For what?
A persuasion?
You can roll an intimidation.
Let's do that. Intimidation.
If that's what you mean to do.
That is.
If you want to do something a little bit more with more finesse, I would ask for a performance roll, maybe. So you can do either of those.
Well, for me, they're both the same. They're a +3. So it's a 21 for me, though.
Ooh.
18 + 3.
Nice.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me just do a real quick contest here.
Perform for those wolves. Dance.
Last thing I want is a pack of wolves descending upon us.
Eh.
I think we're dinner.
No, I don't want that either.
Breakfast at this point.
What are you doing? That's more experience points.
Okay. So I will say that a number of minutes goes by and nothing seems to be happening.
And Quintus is in his armor.
Yes. And again, time drips by. We're all standing at the ready around this fire.
What time of day is it? Is it still...
Yeah, it's like midnight.
Oh, okay. I think maybe, Tados, you were successful in that. I think it might be time to...
Perhaps I can rest off some of this
Damage, and you look down at my deranged arm that's got this like nasty gangrene.
Graham, when you healed him, did that knit any of the flesh together, or was it just like revitalizing?
Oh
him?
yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm the
So
flesh
your wound
knitter.
is like half closed.
Yes.
Still kind
You're
of
a bit weary.
jaggedy.
There's no more bleeding. And I guess well, let's check the bandits for if there's anything on them of substance, or who knows.
Oh, great idea. So why don't you do some rolling for me while I check a spell that I have? Just roll 3d6.
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 That's 12. That's 14.
Great. So 14 silver,
That's a good roll.
and then roll 3d10.
14 silver. 3d10. Bum, bum, bum.
3d10.
3d10. 9.
3d10. Myself for 3d10.
18. Was that 18?
Yeah. So 18 copper.
Nice.
And some non-remarkable scraps of leather armor and the scimitars that they were wielding, a crossbow, that sort of stuff.
No secret letters that say, "Kill the undefeated. This is the evil man."
No, actually, and if you want to, I won't make you roll insight, but judging by the look of their clothing and their massive scars all around them, you would presume that the riches that you find in their purses are probably the result of having stolen from other travelers such as yourselves, rather than being well-to-do merchants or anything along those lines.
Highwaymen, it sounds like. We'll need to be more cautious.
Yeah, so Leah wasted a spell slot on her mage armor because it doesn't seem like we are going to be visited by wolves today.
Yes. And I wasted a spell slot too. So,
But
I guess.
we are... should we go back to sleep?
Yes.
After like half an hour, Leah's like,
I can't sleep.
I'm very tired.
I'm
You
pretty
need
tired
to
too.
sleep, Tados. That was a pretty bad 2 that you got there.
And I didn't get the 1 or the 3. Ugh.
Hey, what happened?
How
You were
frustrating.
waiting for it.
You did. I
will-
saw him. He got shocked. He was like, "Bleh,"
That's
and
true.
he peed himself.
Maybe only the 3. But
And-
okay.
Graham strips out of his armor and like comfortably goes to bed, just with the memory of like destroying that man in his head. But he hides his smile.
Just about time for my shift, I reckon. I might as well
Tados-
stay up from here.
Yes, very
Continuing to talk and say how he's not tired, falls asleep
good. Oh.
in the middle of his sentence.
So,
Passes out.
congratulations, you solved my bandit puzzle.
Was that a puzzle?
All of our cleverness. We put our heads together and we came through.
We wake up bright and early, feeling a little bit better than we did when we fell asleep because none of us are bleeding anymore. The day is bright and beautiful, and we make a quick travel. And by the end of this second day, we come upon a town. Yes, so we find ourselves walking beside a river for the majority of the afternoon, and this is a gorgeous stream. It is clear and deep and cold and fresh. Leah like scoops a big handful of it just straight out and drinks it. Like, oh, I love that spring melt taste.
I know what you mean. And Quintus is like staring over and he's like wading into the water looking for fish to skewer. I've heard of people doing this, but I've never actually seen it done.
You're
One
such a
minute-
rich boy. I love that you're like experiencing all this like outdoorsy shit for the first time, probably.
Literally, as you do that, upstream, I'm leaping into the the river, hands first, like Gollum, like trying to
Carrying all the fish.
raw fish, because like raw potatoes, they are tasty fishes.
What's a tiefling's immune system like?
Oh, good question.
It's all
What is a
stones.
tiefling's immune system? Is it as tough as their skin?
Yeah.
Imagine so.
Who knows?
I don't know. What's your con score?
Yeah.
We have
Are
you talking to
mechanic
me?
for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a
Oh,
tiefling.
I didn't hear.
You're a tiefling, bro.
No, I didn't hear any. I just kept missing tiefling. My con score is a 15, so +2.
Fuck yeah, you have a good immune system.
Yeah.
So you're just mowing down on raw fish.
Yes.
And potatoes.
It's not even sushi grade.
And as we come up on this town, it's quite a bit larger than Zoanth, for sure. There are a lot of farmsteads as well, but there is no sign of this fresh, clear cutting. These are well-established, fairly well-to-do looking farmhouses that seem to have a lot of property, a lot of people out working this fresh spring ground, sowing seeds, tilling the land and such. A lot of friendly smiles and waves as we come into town. And it's a pretty, like I said, pretty big village. Seems like there are a lot of establishments. This isn't the kind of town that has, one inn, one tavern, one alchemist or anything. They're, not like there are any chains, but you get the idea.
Is there a Denny's?
Yeah. We passed by a number of very interesting and unique looking taverns, especially. They all seem to have different colored roofs and different and matching signs. Like there's a tavern with a blue shield hanging outside that has like a blue tile roof.
Is it called the Blue Shield?
Yes. And as you pass by, the floors are tiled in blue, and it's kind of like got a cool color-coded thing going on. And it seems like those taverns are also fairly well populated because it is, again, late in the evening as we come into town. Inviting smells are wafting out of lots of buildings.
Are there any taverns that look less inviting and less populated?
Yeah, there's one or two, but I would say the majority of the establishments that we walk by that seem to be welcoming in customers are like pretty nice.
I head to the red one.
I go to the
I
gray
go
one.
to the blue
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna say, yeah, we all just go to our own colors.
Bye.
What's the red one called?
I don't know what it's called.
What's hanging out front of it?
You tell me.
The red lantern. How about that?
Great. It's the red.
That's boring. Why not make it the Red
Baron.
I like that too.
It's called.
The Red Authoritarian.
I already wrote down red lantern.
No, it's not. It's called.
You asked me.
It's called King Roscoe's Courage.
What?
King Roscoe's Courage.
That's not red anything.
The tavern.
King Red Roscoe's Courage.
Damn it.
Red King Roscoe's Courage.
King Red Roscoe.
It doesn't say
King
red in the
Roscoe's-
name.
Red Roscoe's.
But that's what the community knows. That's what the town knows it as. King Roscoe. Oh no, it's called. King
But there's a red lantern out
Red
front.
Roscoe's.
And that's what I
That's
call it. Good, because I already wrote down
And I
red lantern,
stopped-
and I'm not tearing
I
out this
stopped-
page.
Oh, that's the Blue Shield. I was going to call it something else, but never mind. And I'm going to go into that one, but then I turn around and I say, no, I'll follow Graham.
I wasn't actually gonna. Well, sure, let's go into King Roscoe's. It's the only one that was named anyway.
Well, the Blue Shield.
Well, is that the name of it, or is it just the blue shield up front?
Dude, I'm vamping right now.
What about the Daunting Horse? And I point over to the one with the brown roof.
Daunting horse?
It's like the prancing pony.
There's a bunch of women inside that are like, what?
The Daunting Horse.
We're not daunted. Is there anything else in this town besides taverns?
Yeah, of course.
No.
It's kind of
Oh.
late at night.
Oh, that one with the pink roof.
What's the name of this town?
early.
What's the name of this town? Starts with an S, you said? Or village?
This town is called. This is a town of one of our.
Sallisaw.
Sallisaw. Sallosal.
Sallisaw.
Sall.
Salosal.
Thank you.
Sallisaw.
Is there a cat cafe?
Yeah. No, there
Yes.
isn't. This
No
is
cat cafe.
actually the birthplace of Val Stringer, PC of community member Paul Bernhardt.
Is there a church?
Yes. There are a number of churches, actually, a couple of temples dedicated to different deities.
Is there an Alistair one?
There is like a temple of the light that has a number of different deities, symbols chiseled on the door or placards, and one of them is, yes, the Alistarian symbol.
Beautiful.
So it's like a multi-theistic, like a Unitarian type church. There's like
Lovely.
a couple of different, like Lathander maybe is also worshipped.
Lathander definitely, because I think that's where Val worships.
Perfect. Well, yeah, let's duck into a tavern.
Cool.
King Roscoe's Courage.
King Roscoe's Courage. Why not?
Oh, I am
DVD.
starving for some good food.
I could eat as well.
I haven't had any good food since I left freaking Holston.
Yes, and I need a night to rest on a bed.
Hey.
So we end up in King Roscoe's Courage, I presume.
Yes.
Yes.
Do we enter the same way, the exact same way as the last pub we walked into?
Oh my god. Didn't you make all the lights turn out
Yeah.
also?
I'm not doing that again.
We're growing as a party, which is nice.
unless I look at Graham
I say
and
no.
Quintus.
Too tired. Let's go.
Asking for permission implicitly. There's about 40 people all sitting around the round tables, a fire blazing merrily in the hearth. There's a minstrel at one side of the tavern. She is plucking a what are they called? They're like little ukulele type dudes. A dulcimer? Is that a thing?
Oh,
A
yeah.
dulcimer?
Cool.
Or is that with
Not a
hammers?
lute. You're not talking about a
A
lute.
lute. I'm talking about lute.
Oh, sorry. A lute.
There is a minstrel with a lute kind of nearby to the fireplace, and she is accompanying herself lightly as she tells a grand tale. There are a number of serving staff bustling around, and a woman comes by, and as we enter, she says, "Oh, is it a table for 4 tonight?"
Please, yes.
Certainly, just one moment. She makes her way back to the kitchen and then comes back out. Right this way, please, and brings us round to a table that's sort of in the corner of the place. And there's a nice little lantern on the table. She asks us what we'll have to eat. There's pork, there's mutton, and chicken. Oh, and of course, trout from the river.
Trout. I'll have that.
I'll probably have a
Trout,
trout
of
as well, yes.
Yes, and for yourself, Master Tiefling.
I will have the mutton. Bring
Mutton.
it raw, please.
Yes, certainly. And madam,
And a potato if you have one.
and
Yes,
potato.
potatoes.
Very exciting.
My
He
friend
is
is-
like, chicken. I want a chicken, please. And what do you? An ale?
Oh, chicken. Do you like it raw or cooked?
No, I don't like it raw, Tados. We've had this conversation before.
If you don't like it raw, you have to tell them, because otherwise they might bring it raw.
And the barmaiden is like, yes, well, we have Glade's Ribbon Brew, and we have the Lavelle's Cloud Topper tonight.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh, personally, I'm a Lavelle girl myself.
Well, then that makes me a Lavelle boy. Get me one of them.
Certainly. And for yourself. And Leah agrees and whatever.
And I'll have milk.
Milk for you, sir, of course.
And the strongest thing you've got on tap, please.
So that's
Oh,
2
well.
milks.
We don't, would you like whiskey, sir?
Yes.
All right. And she heads out and brings our food. And will you be staying with us tonight? She nods at all of our luggage and shit.
Yes,
Kind
most
of
likely.
eyes the weapons. Looks like you've been on the road. Where'd you come from? From the capital, I presume.
No, but we will be staying the night, yes.
Certainly. And how many rooms would you like?
Just the 2.
2 rooms.
I
of
glance
course.
around.
2 or 1?
Well, I think 4 might be a bit tight.
2. We can afford it.
Let's take either individual rooms or let's bunk up. I think 2 is easiest.
2 rooms. Great. So
Buddy system.
we spend the night drinking in the pub.
I would
Having
like to propose a
sustenance?
toast.
I think that's a good idea, Quintus.
Yes, a toast.
When I left Houston, I did not know what to expect, but I must say, I could not have asked for a better group of individuals to explore this world with. So, here's to the 3 of you, and here's to our merry band of adventurers.
And here's
Cheers,
Yes.
Quintus.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Ding, ding, ding.
To the undefeated.
That's right, 4 clinks. I clinked myself.
I,
Clink yourself often, don't you, Dados?
Ah, clinky, clinky.
and then we all kind of just look around.
And we look towards the camera.
Yeah.
And we're going to end it there for tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Chapters of the Undefeated, Episode 5. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. Huge thank you to Joe Fallak, the talented GM who has been commanding this thing. I'm not going to overuse the clap button because everyone complains about that. And a huge thank you to Justin who's commanding the community. And a huge thank you to you guys for hanging out and watching this. This is such a blast. It's so great to be able to have characters that end up being longer that we get to play over multiple episodes. So just a huge thank you all around. I hope you guys had some fun tonight.
Yeah, man. Super fun.
I did.
Last. Oh,
Let's
remember, people are
talk about
sleeping
Endgame XP. Who deserves it?
ooh.
Good question.
Oh
like
my
I said, I
God,
haven't really
that's
been
so
in
much.
the chat a lot, but was there someone who's especially important when y'all were finishing up in Zoanth or?
Zia gave a few good
There was.
ideas. Oh, who are you thinking, Justin?
Here's
Dustin Wright proposed the idea of us talking to the mayor, which was very good, I think. I mean, the mayor was there, so it ended up blind. But Dustin, he gave some really good suggestions for that Zoanth scene.
The only other person I would say maybe would be Paul Bernhardt for helping with this last part of the
Yeah,
actual
man,
town.
we're gonna be exploring
yeah.
his hometown.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys.
I was
Now,
gonna
because
put
I've
it
seen-
to Paul for sure.
Then I was thinking the same. So I'm thinking
What were
maybe.
you
Let's
saying,
do
Al?
it.
I was saying you were mentioning earlier, Joe, that off camera, you and Paul had been working together on some stuff,
Yeah.
which I think adds that little extra.
Yeah. So I'd say let's
Yeah,
give
no,
it to
something.
Mr. Paul Bernhardt. Reign of peace. Well done, buddy.
You know, it's always difficult choosing these because everybody that's involved. These are hilarious comments. I have such a good time.
Such a blast. And helpful, too. Hilarious and helpful. 'Cause,
Hilarious
And
helpful.
beautiful.
And
we're pretty
beautiful.
clueless and beautiful, too.
And
Beautiful?
sexy. Yeah.
Who wrote the beautiful?
And important.
No, just that everyone's beautiful. All of our fans are beautiful
Just
and
beautiful people.
funny
Oh, yes,
and
they are beautiful.
Funny.
I'm just confused about this picture that David Johns put up. I'm
Kind.
confused. Is one of your dogs like a person?
What?
what?
He's as best I can get under the desk, and there's like a dog
Looking at
with
it.
someone next to it. Looks like another.
Oops, wrong
Looks
pick.
like a-
there we
Looks
go.
like a child. Maybe it's David.
Is it?
I'm not really sure.
That looks like a child. Like that's a child.
You know what though? Like with that, like pets,
Human dog.
pets that sleep up against you are the best.
Oh, Louis
Yeah.
is so into
That's
that.
the dream.
The best. We snuggle every night.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's amazing. You're lucky. You've got it all. If you've got that.
That's it. That's it. Ready to
I
die.
do. I'm a lucky woman.
Tori and I just got a cat, and she loves sleeping with Tori.
And not you.
Aw, Justin.
Sorry, buddy. It's okay.
You know what,
That's
though?
a-
She
that's
could
a
sleep
cat
between
for
us.
It's
Then you'll roll
it's
over
the
and squish
cat-
it.
It's the
Well,
cat
yeah, that's my thing.
relationship. It's the cat relationship. I'll tell you what.
It's gotta
Here's some
be.
advice: don't care about it at all, and it'll be
Okay.
your best friend.
That's fair.
All right.
You just say "fuck you," and all of a sudden, next thing you know, it'll be cuddling up to you.
I'll try that. I'll let you know how it goes.
Cats and women, same sort of thing.
I come back and I'm just like covered in scratch marks and like blood and whatever. I tried when you
Ladies and
said
gentlemen,
I
thank you
was
so much for hanging out with us tonight. It is always a blast. We're going to be back here next Wednesday for Chapters of the Undefeated, Episode 6. This Friday night, we're going to be doing a spooky stream, so hang out. And hope you had a good time. And as my brother always likes to say,
We'll see you around the table where we make shit up.
we'll see you around the table where we make shit out, guys. Good night.
Good night.